so today we're looking at the weirdest people on the internet. Like this lady right here. Her name is Jennifer Siemens, and she's a teacher. One day, she was just teaching. Everything was going normal. But then there was one kid in the back of the class who kept screaming. Now, this Jennifer lady kept telling the kid, be quiet, stop screaming. But the kid would not shut up for some reason. So you know what she did? For some reason, this lady decided to go over to the kid, sit on his head, and fart in his mouth. I'm not even making this up. This lady was instantly suspended from her school for farting in the kid's mouth. Like, bro, if my teacher ever did that to me, bro, Today's video is gonna be full of people like this who did really, really weird things, but I'm gonna make this video special. Instead of just looking at weird people who did weird things on random days, I'm gonna use your birthdays. You see, in the last episode of This Guy Is Weird, I told you to leave your birthdays in the comments. I was gonna go through, pick random birthdays, and see what happened on your birthday. This video is gonna be crazy. Let's go. All right, so I'm in my comments right now. I'm looking at all of your birthdays. I think I wanna do this one first. This kid commented and said, do April 1st. Isn't that like April Fools? Dude, I know people did some weird stuff on April. Let's see. Oh my God. Okay, so on April 1st, this guy right here, now I don't know his name. I don't think I want to know his name, but this guy right here was just at McDonald's, okay? It kind of makes sense. He was just at McDonald's eating, and when nobody was looking, he somehow went into the back of the McDonald's without getting caught. He started taking the chicken nuggets, and he started like trying to steal them. Right when he was walking out of the building with like 500 chicken nuggets, somebody noticed that he was stealing them, so they called the cops. When the cops showed up to arrest this guy for stealing the nuggets, they couldn't find them. They were wondering, okay, where were the nuggets? So they decided to look at the camera footage, and guess what happened? This guy right here was caught hiding the nuggets in his fat rolls. I'm not even making this up. This dude, whatever his name is, I don't even know. I don't even want to know. He decided that it would be a good idea to hide the chicken McNuggets in his belly fat. Bro, what? Okay, that was weird. Let's find another date. This kid said January 1st. He also said, oh, I subscribed, please. Okay, I guess I'll do this since you subscribed. January 1st, that's literally like New Year's, bro. People are definitely doing some weird stuff. Okay, this is weird, bro. So this guy right here, on January 1st, he thought it would be a good idea to go ride around in his car, but he had been drinking. So as he was driving around, he was like swerving and stuff like that, and he ended up getting pulled over. When the cops pulled him over, they said, hey, can we have your driver's license and can we have your insurance? That's what they always do. They ask for your driver's license and stuff like that. This guy, instead of giving them his driver's license, he gave them a taco. He literally handed the cop a taco and he was like, the cops were like, what the hell? I didn't ask for this. Why are you giving me, can I have your ID? And he just sat there staring at them. And then the cops realized that in the back seat of this guy's car, he was making tacos on like a stove or something. And the back seat of his car was on fire. He was literally driving around on January 1st, making tacos in the back seat of his car while driving. What the, I mean, I know a lot of people have like weird New Year's resolutions, right? But this is the weirdest one ever. This guy was trying to make a taco stand on wheels, and then it was so dumb that he gave the cop a taco. Dude, he ended up getting arrested for this, and his car actually ended up catching on fire. That is so stupid. Bro, also on January 1st, this guy right here, I mean, right away, you can tell that there's something wrong with this guy, right? Well, this guy ended up trying to rob a bank, okay? He saw a bank and he was like, oh, it's gonna be a good idea for me to go and rob this bank. I don't know why people think that they can rob banks. That was like in the 1800s, bro. You're not gonna take their money. They're just gonna call the cops, you're gonna go to jail. But this guy really believed that he could rob this bank. But instead of like going up to the counter and saying, give me the money, he just like walked into the back, started like taking the money, and people were like, what are you doing? And then they called the cops, and then the cops came and got him. When the cops asked him why he tried robbing the bank, he said that he paid $500 to a wizard, and the wizard made him invisible. What? This guy actually paid someone $500, and they convinced him that they made him invisible, so he decided to go to the bank, and he thought he was invisible. Bro, what? How? What? All right, which one should we do next? There's so many different comments. Let's do June 22nd. That sounds like a really good day. It's like in the middle of the summer. It's probably just so beautiful. Let's see what weird things happened. Oh my God. Okay, so on June 22nd, this guy right here, you're never gonna guess what he he did. I think I might have mentioned this in another video, but I'm gonna talk about it again because this is so weird. So this guy was just standing in the middle of the street, right? He was just standing waiting for the light to change or whatever, and the light wasn't changing. So he decided to climb up the telephone pole. Like, he climbed up on the street light. He climbed over to where the light was like red, and he started banging on the light to try to make it turn green or whatever. And then nobody expected what he was gonna do next. Like, people were already like, why are you banging on the light? Like, you're gonna fall down it. What are you doing? He heard everybody honking at him, like telling him to get down, like, get down, what are you doing? For some reason, this guy didn't like it, so he decided to, while hanging, pull his I'm not even, okay, yeah, he started pooping on the cars. I'm not even kidding. I don't know if this guy like ate a ton of McDonald's before he did this, but he started pooping on the cars that were below him. Like, people were saying, get down, honk, honk, and they were just getting pooped on. What the? This guy got arrested instantly after that. The cops came to the scene. They saw him hanging while pooping, and they were like, okay, yeah, this guy's got to go to jail. Hopefully he's still in jail. That is so weird. Okay, what day should we do next? These have been really, really weird so far. This has been a good episode. Let's do this one. January 16th. I feel like weird things happen in January. It's like the new year and people are like trying new things. They're just weird. All right, January 16th. Let's see what happened. What? Okay, so on January 16th, this guy right here, this is so weird. So this guy right here was just hanging out with his dog. He really, really loved his dog so much. Like, his dog was his best friend. And he realized that one day his dog was gonna pass away. And he got really, really sad. So this guy, I don't know why he thought this was a good idea, but he decided to go to a local school, right? He went to like his local high school or something, and he went to the science teacher. He asked for the science teacher. And when he got to the science teacher, he ended up kidnapping him. He kidnapped the science teacher, took him to his house, and forced the science teacher to make his dog immortal. He literally kidnapped the science teacher and was telling him, you need to make my dog live forever. I know you're a scientist, make my dog live forever. And what? Eventually, this guy ended up getting arrested. The scientist ended up going back to the school, but like, what, dude? You really thought a scientist? Bro, what? All right, which date should we choose next? I think we're gonna do, this kid just said March. He didn't even say what day. You were born on March? Ooh, look at this. Somebody commented and said, I'm a girl, so do September 15th. You know what? Since you're a girl and I feel bad for you, let's go September 15th. Okay, what? On September 15th, this guy right here, this guy's name was Seth Waters or whatever. And this is just weird. Okay, so on September 15th, this guy right here, right away, you can tell that this is gonna be a weird story. I mean, what type of picture is that, bro? Are you like halfway asleep? Anyway, this guy, we actually know his name. His name was Seth Waters, and this guy decided to do something so dumb. So this dude was a homeless guy, right? And he was just walking down the street like normal, and he looked on the ground and he saw a check. Now, people don't really use checks nowadays, but this is what people used to do. They used to like write down on this check and then put a bunch of numbers and they could take it to their bank and cash it in, right? Well, this guy found a check on the ground. It was a blank check. So he thought of a genius idea to write down on the check $368 billion. He wrote his name on it, and then he went to his local bank and he was like, here, I want to cash in this $368 billion check. Now, instantly, the people at the bank were like, what the hell? Is this a joke? Like, do you actually think this is gonna work? But no, this guy ended up getting arrested for doing this because he didn't just stop when they told him no. He ended up going to another bank and another bank and another bank. He went to 4 banks in a row trying to cash this fake check for $368 billion. And then the weirdest part happened. When he got to the 5th bank and they told him no, instead of just going home, or I guess he didn't have a home, oops, instead of just leaving, he ended up having a temper tantrum. He started crying, breaking stuff at the bank, and they had to call the cops, and then he went to jail. This grown man was crying because he couldn't cash a $368 billion check. You know how much money that is, dude? Okay, this lady right here is savage, bro. Listen to this. So this lady's name is Juanita Fitzgerald, and she ended up getting arrested for not paying her rent. Now, if you don't know, like whenever you live somewhere, normally you have to pay somebody rent or you have to pay a mortgage. You have to pay for when you live. You know what I mean? You have to pay for your house. This lady decided to stop paying for, you know, where she lived. And when the cops like asked her, why aren't you paying your rent? Like, what, like you need to pay for your house. She said she thought she was going to die soon. That's why she stopped paying. What? That makes makes no sense. Let's do this one. Somebody said, I've been subscribed for a long time. Please do May 16th. That's my birthday. Okay, May 16th, just because you've been subscribed for a long time. Let's see what weird stuff happened on May 16th. What? Okay, this guy got arrested for doing the dumbest thing. Okay, let me just explain. So on May 16th, this guy was in Chicago. Chicago's like a big, nice city, right? This guy was walking around with like a dinosaur grabber. I'll put a picture on the screen. This guy was using like a thing where you press this in and it grabs stuff. This grown man was just walking down the street with his little dinosaur grabber or whatever. I don't know. But you know what he was doing with this thing? You're never gonna guess. Instead of just using it like a normal person and like picking up trash or like, you know, messing with people, he was stealing guns off of police officers. You know how police officers have like the guns on the side of their hip or whatever? He was like going behind the officers and trying to grab their gun with this little toy dinosaur grab. What are you thinking, bro? All right, which one should we look at next? Somebody said Matt 8. Okay, what the hell does that mean? Jesus Christ, this kid spammed my comments like 1,000 times. Okay, October 30th, let's do it. Okay, so on October 30th, this guy right here, I don't know his name. He worked at Chuck E. Cheese, okay? You know what Chuck E. Cheese is? It's like an arcade where like kids and stuff, they go to play and it's just like a place where they serve pizza. He worked at Chuck E. Cheese. He was a cook. He was the one who was cooking the pizzas and stuff, which, I mean, dude, I would not want him to cook my pizza. It looks like he has pizza in his mouth. Okay, I need to chill. This guy, after work, after a long day of, you know, cooking pizzas and hanging out with kids and, you know, having fun, he realized that he wasn't making enough money from his job. Chuck E. Cheese wasn't paying him enough. So he thought of a great idea. After work, he was gonna go down to the local gas station, rob the gas station, and get a bunch of money, right? Well, there was one problem with this plan. You see, when he was at Chuck E. Cheese, when he worked there, his uniform would have his name on it, and it would also say Chuck E. Cheese, right? Every single like Chuck E. Cheese uniform has like the person's name and where they work. You know, it says Chuck E. Cheese. Well, this guy, right after work, decided to rob the gas station right across the street from the Chuck E. Cheese where he worked. Once he walked into the gas station and started like trying to take their money, they realized that his name was on his shirt and where he worked was on his shirt. He thought he successfully got away with it. He didn't realize that he literally had his name on his shirt and where he worked. They ended up catching him like 5 hours later. Oh my God, dude. Okay, what is this? Okay, this is the weirdest story I've ever heard. I'm just gonna read this. It says, Florida man with no legs was arrested after kicking his pregnant wife's ear off. This guy has no legs and he kicked his wife's ear. Yeah, I'm done. That's the weirdest thing ever. Yo, so today we're gonna be looking at the weirdest people on the internet. For example, this guy right here. This guy's name is Brian Johnson. And on August 20th, this Brian guy broke into his local McDonald's, decided to go to the back of the kitchen and start going to the bathroom in the French fry machine. This guy literally pooped in the fryer and made fried poop. What the hell? I've made 3 other videos like this before, and in all of these videos, it's always so much fun to find some weird people who did weird things, but this video is gonna be special. Instead of just looking at weird things that happened on random dates, I'm gonna be using your birthdays. In the last episode of This Guy Is Weird, I told you guys to comment your birthdays, and I was gonna find the weirdest things that happened on your birthdays. So get ready, we're about to look at a bunch of your birthdays and see what weird things happened. Let's go. The first day we're gonna look up is April 12th. This guy commented, shout out to you. Let's see what weird things happened on your birthday. Okay, so on April 12th, there was a man named Ben Paget, and he went to go eat at Olive Garden. He ended up sitting down on a bench outside of the Olive Garden and started shoveling spaghetti into his mouth and screaming at people. Also, he took his shirt off and he had spaghetti all over him. Ooh, somebody commented June 27th, and that's honestly a good date because that's the middle of the summer. Everybody's being weird. Everybody's outside. Let's look at this. Okay, this is weird. So this guy's name right here is John Hennessy. At around midnight of June 27th, this guy right here was standing in his front yard. Seems normal, right? Well, he wasn't just standing in his front yard. He was also chanting and dancing around a fire in his front yard. The weird part about this is the fact that he had no clothes on. This guy was literally dancing around a fire in the middle of his yard, like in his front yard, in the middle of the night. What makes this even weirder is the fact that at one point, when the police pulled up and they were like, what are you doing? Like, you need to put clothes on, bro. He started standing in the fire. What? Ooh, somebody put July 13th. That's actually pretty good. I thought that July 13th was gonna be a good date, but I didn't know it was going to be this good. You're about to see a ton of weird stories that happened on this day. I don't know what's wrong with July 13th, but this day was insane. Okay, so on July 13th, there was a man who lived in Florida. Now, they didn't say his name, probably because he did something very, very weird that you're about to see, but this man was just hanging out. At around 3 o'clock, he decided to go to the street, like he walked out in the middle of the street and started climbing up the traffic light. A bunch of people watched him climb up the traffic light and they were like, why are you going up there? But they didn't, they had no idea what he was about to do. He decided to climb up the traffic light, climb across the freaking like thing, across the pole, and then he started hanging from the traffic light, right? Now this is very weird. He was literally like holding onto the traffic light, just sitting there hanging. But then his pants fell down and he started pooping on the cars. There were literally cars driving by and there was this guy hanging from a traffic light pooping on them. Dude, people get mad whenever birds poop on their cars. Imagine a grown man hanging from a traffic light poops on your car. Also, on this same day in Florida, there was a guy who went into a CVS a couple of hours before they closed. He went into the bathroom and apparently he was taking a very, very, very long poop. Once the store closed, he ended up leaving the bathroom and then he started indulging and eating all of the sweets on the counters. According to this article, he started eating Tostitos spinach dip, chips, Reese's chocolate, Ghirardelli chocolate bars. He was drinking Dr. Pepper. He was smoking cigarettes. This guy was literally eating all of the junk food, drinking all of the junk drinks, and just chilling inside of the store. Somebody ended up spotting him from outside and they called the cops. And when the cops got there, you know what he said? He said, I came in here to use the bathroom. Bro, you're a liar. You done ate the Reese's. You done ate the chips. There's like a trail of chips behind you. You did not come here to use the bathroom, bro. Somebody told me to search up February 16th. Okay, let's see what weird things happened then. Oh my God. So on February 16th, there was a man who lived in Florida who got arrested for one of the weirdest things I've ever seen. So he was just eating food with his girlfriend. He was eating McDonald's, actually. Him and his girlfriend were chilling at the dining room table, just eating McDonald's together. And then they started arguing. Now, most people, when they're in an argument, they probably like yell or they scream or they leave. But this guy decided to grab the sweet and sour sauce packets that he got from McDonald's and start throwing them right at his girlfriend, right in her face, exploding and squirting all the sweet and sour all over her. Somebody said do January 1st. That's actually a fire birthday, bro. Let's see what weird things happen on January 1st. Oh my God. Okay, so on January 1st, this guy right here, they didn't really say his name, probably because he did something very weird, but this guy right here ended up breaking into his ex-girlfriend's home, and then you're never gonna guess what he did. Instead of like breaking into her home and like, you know, spying on her or something, he decided to poop on everything. I'm not even kidding. The report says that he pooped on her couch, on her bed, pooped in her toilet, pooped on her toilet, pooped in her bathtub, pooped in her refrigerator. How much poop do you have, bro? This dude must have went to like Taco Bell, McDonald's, Burger King, and Wendy's in an hour. Dude, something else happened on January 1st. This is insane. So this guy right here, I think his name's Bradley. This is all I can see. His name might be Bradley. I don't know. But this guy, he doesn't really, I mean, he looks kind of like a normal guy, but not really. Well, this guy isn't normal. So growing up, this Bradley guy had always had the same friends. He made like a bunch of friends when he was like 5 years old, and they stayed together forever. They were friends their whole life. But then a bunch of his friends ended up getting caught for like doing crimes and stuff, so they went to jail. And this Bradley guy was really, really lonely. So one day, Bradley, he ended up breaking into the jail to hang out with his friends. What? This guy broke into jail. Why are you breaking into the jail? All of these stories have been very, very weird, but this next story is one of the dumbest things I've ever seen. Just watch this. Somebody told me to search up May 10th. All right, let's try it. Oh my God, you're never gonna believe this story. Okay, so on May 10th, this is insane. There was a guy who lived in Florida and he really, really liked basketball. This is what he looks like. I don't really know his name or anything, but he really, really liked basketball. So one day he decided decided to go to a public park to play basketball. He wanted to go outside, you know, shoot hoops and get better at basketball. Well, instead of just going like a normal person and, you know, shooting hoops, playing basketball, he decided to go with no clothes on. I haven't even told you the weirdest part of this story. When the police pulled up and arrested him because he was literally outside at a park with no clothes on, when they asked him why he had no clothes on, he said he thought it would help improve his skills. What? This guy thought by playing basketball with no clothes on, he would be better. How does that make sense? Bro, also on this same day, there was a guy who broke into his neighbor's house, right? Now, you're probably wondering, oh, why did he break into his neighbor's house? Did he want to like steal their money or, you know, watch TV or do weird things, stuff like that? Well, no. The reason he broke into his neighbor's house was to pet their cat. Apparently, this guy really loved his neighbor's cat. Every single day he would see the cat and he would try to go pet it, but the cat would run away. So he decided to make a master plan to break into his neighbor's house when nobody knew so he could go hang out with the cat. What the fuck? Okay, also on this day, this is insane. Somebody by the name of Timothy Bone Traeger, this is what he looks like. This Timothy guy... This is insane. So this Timothy guy ended up breaking into somebody's house in the middle of the night, right? He ended up breaking into the house at around midnight. He started stealing some stuff, but then he sat down and he ended up falling asleep. This guy was robbing a house and fell asleep. The person who owned the home told the police that she woke up at 7 a.m. and she walked downstairs and she saw Timothy just sleeping on her couch. When she asked him what the heck he was doing in her house, he apologized to her and said he was sorry. Are you kidding me, bro? This guy broke into a house and then fell asleep. Somebody told me to search up November 26th. This is one day after my birthday. My birthday's the 25th. So let's see what happened one day after my birthday. I'm just gonna warn you right now, if you thought the last couple of stories were weird, November 26th is the weirdest day ever. Okay, so this lady right here went to McDonald's to go eat, and when she was at McDonald's, she was ordering, and she said, I want some chicken McNuggets. She was really excited to get her nuggets, but then they told her that they were all out. They said, oh, we don't have any, you know, McNuggets today and stuff like that. So this lady decided to call 911. She was literally calling 911 saying, hello? Yeah, McDonald's doesn't have any nuggets. Like, what the hell? What are they gonna do about it? Also, on this day, oh my God, this is insane. This woman right here, her name was Lita Crosto Somoso or whatever. This lady went into a Walmart while riding a tricycle. She rode a tricycle into Walmart, which is already weird, but this story's not even close to being over. This lady, Lita, she went into Walmart. She went to the toy section of Walmart. She's 52 years old, by the way. She was sitting in the toy section and she grabbed a toy gun. Then she went to the cashier and tried robbing Walmart with a toy gun that she got from the toy section while riding a tricycle. When they didn't give her money, she ended up riding away on her little tricycle and she was arrested. What are you even thinking, bro? Yo, so today we're gonna be looking at the weirdest people on the internet. For example, this guy right here. This guy's name is Alex Jones, and one day, Alex decided to break into his local Walmart at around 4 a.m. when there was no workers there. When the store ended up opening at around 8 a.m., the workers who came to Walmart to go to work found Alex sitting in a cat litter box. What are you doing? Today's video is gonna be a bunch of random stories from weird people all across the internet. I've made like 4 other episodes in this series. Yeah, I think this is like the 5th episode we've made of This Guy is Weird, but today's video is going to be special. Instead of looking at weird stories on random dates, I'm gonna see what happened on your birthdays. Now, in the last This Guy is Weird video that I made, I told you guys to comment your birthdays in the comment section, and I was gonna use your birthdays and see what weird and nasty and dumb things happened on your birthdays. So let's go. All right, the top comment on the last video said, "Due June 17th, that's my birthday." Shout out to you, bro. Let's see what weird stuff happened on your birthday. Okay, so on your birthday, there was a guy by the name of Patrick Mitchell, and this is what he looks like. At around 3 p.m. on that day, he walked into Sam's Club, which is basically like a grocery store, kind of like Walmart. He walked into the grocery store. He went to aisle 18 specifically, and he started urinating on the sausages, the canned Spam, and all the other canned foods in that aisle. This grown old man was just sitting there going to the bathroom on all these shelves, and a lady walked by and started recording with her cell phone, recording him. She told the store employees, and they called the cops on this guy. The police ended up doing some investigations into this, and they figured out that 188 cans of Vienna sausages and 345 cans of Spam were covered in urine. How does this guy pee on almost 500 cans of food? How much pee do you have? What did you drink? The damage ended up totaling $10,580 in lost goods. This dude peed on 10,000. Oh my God. The next day we're gonna look up is November 1st. This one had like 25 comments. So let's see what weird things happened on November 1st. This is really weird. So on November 1st, there was a guy by the name of Bill, and this is what he looks like. He was at home hanging out with his wife, and they started to argue. Now, it doesn't really say what they were arguing about, but that doesn't really matter, because once they were arguing, this Bill guy did not want to talk to her anymore, so he left the house. Makes sense, right? You don't want to argue, so you just leave and you kind of let it chill. Well, this Bill guy decided to do something insane. This Bill guy decided to drive 45 miles away from his house, and then when he got to a different town, 45 miles away, he broke into a random house. Nobody was there though, and he ended up looking through their cupboards, trying to find food. He got a bunch of food from their cupboards, and then went to their bathroom and took a bath in their bath. The people ended up coming home, the people who lived in that house, and they were like, "What are you doing in my bath? There's a 45-year-old man sitting in my bath. What the hell?" So they ended up calling the cops, and whenever the cops asked him why you went to someone's house and took a bath, he said he got in a fight with his wife and he didn't want to go home, so he chose to go to someone else's home. All right, I'm gonna do this one right here. Somebody said, "Can you do my birthday?" It's 5th of September. All right, bet. September 5th. I have a feeling some weird stuff's gonna happen on that day. Okay, this is weird. So on this day, September 5th, there was a guy by the name of Tyler. I don't know his last name, but this is Tyler right here. Tyler ended up going to a pet store. He walked in the store. He was just looking at all the items. In this pet store, they had cats, they had dogs, they had snakes, they had birds. It was just your average pet store, right? Well, this Tyler guy, this is insane. He decided to go over to the snakes, and they were selling a couple of snakes, but they had this one really, really big python snake that Tyler really, really wanted. Guess what he did? When nobody was looking, he climbed into the sanctuary, the little box. He grabbed the python snake, stuffed it in his pants, and started walking out of the store trying to steal it. Now, obviously, everyone noticed that he had this humongous long snake hanging out. Okay, that sounds really weird, but dude, why would you? You're trying to steal a snake? Oh my God, this story is insane. So it was September 5th, and this guy right here by the name of Nathaniel Coleman wanted to rob a house. He saw this nice house in this nice neighborhood, and he knew that nobody was there, so he ended up breaking in, and he stole a bunch of jewelry. He found like thousands of dollars of jewelry, and he successfully got out. Now, this Nathaniel guy thought that he was gonna be so rich. He thought that he was okay because nobody found him. Nobody knew who robbed the house, and they gave up. They were like, okay, we're never gonna find the robber. Oh well. This guy thought he was getting off scot-free, but then a couple of weeks later, you're never gonna guess what happened. He had all of this jewelry, right? And he wanted money. He didn't want the jewelry. He wanted to sell it for money. So he decided to go to a local pawn shop. He took the jewelry into the pawn shop, and guess what? The lady who owned that pawn shop where he was trying to sell the jewelry, she was the one he robbed from. Somehow, some way, the house that he robbed was owned by the pawn shop owner. And the lady, whenever he tried to sell her own jewelry that he stole, she was like, this is mine. She ended up calling the cops. They caught him, and oh my God, that is just insane luck. That's what you get, bro. All right, you know what? I'm gonna pick this one because this kid looks like he's like 0 years old. He said July 11th. All right, bet, let's do it. Okay, this might be the weirdest story yet. Okay, so this guy right here is James, and on this date, July 11th, James ended up breaking into Burger King. This was around 2 a.m., and James, after he broke in, you would expect him to like go to the back and probably eat some burgers or eat some french fries or steal like some cake or whatever, or maybe even make like a slushie or something. That's what you would expect from this guy, but no. He broke into the Burger King, went to the back, and started drinking the deep frying oil. You know, the oil that they have in those things where they cook the fries and stuff? What the I'm literally not making this up. This is an actual news story. What? You know what? I'm gonna pick this date, April 27th. I've never done like one of these in April, I feel like, and I feel like nothing weird happens in April. That's like a normal chill month. So let's see what happened on that date. Okay, so on April April 27th, this guy right here by the name of Gary Williams was sitting at home and everything was normal. He then decided to pick up his phone and call 911. When 911 picked up, they were like, oh, like, what do you need help with? And he was just saying like, he was just like just speaking gibberish. They didn't really know what was wrong. They thought he might have been having like a heart attack or something. So they came to pick him up. Once 911 came to pick him up to see what was wrong with him, he ended up going like, and then he started attacking some of the workers. So they were like, oh my God, okay, we need like a cop to come. So the cop comes and picks him up and takes him, like, is gonna take him to jail because he's like hitting workers and he's obviously like, oh, he's having a panic attack or something. And then he finally says his first words. I mean, this whole time he was going, blah, 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 blah. The first thing he says when he gets in the cop car is, take me home. I need to change my underwear. What? This guy doesn't say a word for like 2 hours. He fights these ambulance workers who he literally called to come help him. And then when he gets in the cop car and he starts going to jail, he says, take me home. I need to change my underwear. What the hell, Gary? Okay, this story's crazy. So this guy's name is Jason Laffman, and this happened on the same day. Jason Laffman was just chilling with his mom's boyfriend. His name was Michael Earhart. So Jason and Michael were just chilling, hanging out. Jason was feeling kind of hungry, so he decided to go to the kitchen and see what type of food they had. As he was looking around in the kitchen, he noticed something weird. Something was missing. He didn't really know what was missing, so he kept searching, and then he found out that he was missing a can of shrimp. Once Jason realized that his can of shrimp was missing from the pantry, he went into the living room and started attacking Michael with a samurai sword, all because of the missing can of shrimp. Why do you want shrimp that bad? Shrimp's disgusting. This kid right here said October 5th. I've also seen a lot more kids saying like October 5th, October 5th. I don't know why so many people were born on October 5th, but let's see what weird stuff happened on this day. Okay, this is the weirdest story ever. So this guy's name is Jonathan, right? Okay, this Jonathan guy. Wow. So Jonathan one day decided, I want to break into McDonald's. Now, I don't know why there's so many people who break into fast food, like that one guy earlier in this video who broke into Burger King. I don't know why people do that. But this Jonathan guy wanted to break into McDonald's. So he waited till about 2 a.m. That's when his local McDonald's closed, and he ended up breaking into the McDonald's. Once he got into the store, he started eating a bunch of the food. He was, drinking their drinks, stuff like that. He was feeling really good. And after he drank a bunch of drinks and ate a bunch of food, he realized, oh snap, I gotta go to the bathroom. He ended up going over to the restroom, but for some reason, the restroom was locked. Apparently, the people who worked at this McDonald's locked the bathroom for the nighttime. I don't know why, but they locked it so he couldn't go to the bathroom in the restroom. Jonathan was kind of panicking. He was like, okay, where do I go to the bathroom? I don't really want to just go on the floor. Okay, how about I go back outside? He was about to leave the McDonald's, but he realized there was people outside and he didn't want to get caught because he literally broke in. So instead of going to the bathroom outside or even like on the floor, he went to the back of, okay, this is gonna be crazy. He went to the back. He went in the freezer where all like the frozen burgers are and the frozen fries and the frozen fruit and food and stuff, and he just peed on all of the food. Why, bro? When the McDonald's workers came to work at 5 a.m., Jonathan had already left. He had been gone for like a couple of hours, and they smelled something. The people who went to the freezer to get the food out, they were like, what the heck? They eventually realized that there was just pee all over the food, and it literally caused this McDonald's to close for the whole day. Look at his face, bro. He's happy. He is glad. He is proud of what he did. He ruined so many burgers. Man, what a weirdo. For a weird looking guy, and it says that he's a poop eater, is because in that video, I went online and I found a bunch of different stories of people doing some very weird things. Now, how I did this is I went to Google and I searched up my birthday, November 25th. Then after I searched up my birthday, I searched up Florida man. Now, when you type in a random day like November 25th and you type in Florida man, you can see some very weird stories of some very weird people doing very weird things on your birthday. Like, for example, on my birthday in 2023, there was somebody in Florida who was just chilling in his backyard cutting down some tree branches when all of a sudden 120 bees started swarming him and stinging him, and then he fell. Now, how I made that video special was I posted on my community tab and I told you guys to tell me when your birthday was. I said that this was for a video and I got 12,000 comments. A bunch of you have told me exactly when your birthday was, so I'm gonna go to Google. I'm gonna search up your birthday, like this, for example, January 7th. I'm gonna go search that up, see what happened on your birthday, and this is going to be crazy. On January 7th, this guy right here by the name of Kevin Miller walked into a Walmart Then he started stuffing stuff into the backpack. And once I tell you what he stuffed inside there, you're gonna be like, what? He started stuffing pepper jack cheese, pepperoni, deviled eggs, cheesecake, banana pudding, chicken salad, and the last thing he stuffed in his backpack was 5 boxes of NFL trading cards. What the I don't know what type of soup this guy was trying to make in his backpack, but this is weird. If I ran into this guy in Walmart, I'd be scared. NVIDIA AI is back with a crazy new update. In their newest 4.0 update, they added in a crazy new feature that I didn't even think was possible. It's called AI Twin. This feature allows anybody to create crazy videos with just their face. All you have to do is record a video of your face, and then NVIDIA will literally generate an AI version of you, your own little avatar, and you can use this to create studio quality videos. I've used this to send videos to my family and my friends of like my avatar saying, what's up, happy birthday, stuff like that, and they're always so confused as to how I did it. They think I did a bunch of editing, but no, I just used NVIDIA AI. NVIDIA doesn't replace your creativity, it kind of enhances it. It allows you to make good content while you focus on what really matters. You don't want to deal with all the hiccups with editing. You can just use this and get it over with. You can edit absolutely anything you want with these videos too using NVIDIA AI. Like you can change this into a cat. Like look, now it's showing a cat. It's pretty easy. NVIDIA AI is the creative partner that you've always wanted right by your side. Go ahead and click the link in the description to download NVIDIA AI today. You can go ahead and create your free character and start making some fun videos. All right, let's pick another birthday. I think I'm gonna go with this one right here, 27th of May. The reason I'm picking this is because somebody else said same. That's also my birthday. So a couple of people have a birthday on the 27th of May. Let's see what weird stuff happened on May 27th. Oh my God, this day is very weird. Okay, so the first thing that happened on May 27th was somebody by the name of Michael Dankner got in trouble because apparently he attacked his mom after she refused to dress up his mannequin. What? According to the story, it says that this guy and his mom were in the backyard when he asked her if she could dress up his pet mannequin. After she said no, this guy reportedly stood in a doorway to prevent his mom from coming inside. Because he was blocking her from entering the house, the mom pushed the mannequin over and ran inside. This guy then got so mad that he ran to the kitchen, pushed her to the floor, then he picked up a couple of dumplings that his mom made for dinner. He took it off the stove and started to shove them in her mouth. What the heck? That's not the only weird thing that happened on May 27th. On May 27th, somebody by the name of Nicholas Kevin Chu was arrested when he bought a bunch of chickens, like the rotisserie chickens that you can buy from Walmart. He went to a local football field, set the chicken up on the 20-yard line, and then lined up and kicked it like it was a field goal. He ended up kicking multiple of these rotisserie chickens through the goalposts. Somebody saw him and called the cops on him. What was this guy thinking? Whenever I buy like a rotisserie chicken, I want to eat it. I don't want to kick it through a field goal post. What the that was a really weird date. Let's check this one out right here. September 2nd. Okay, that sounds like a really random date. I feel like a lot of stuff happened, so let's check it. On September 2nd in Florida, there was a man called Dalton Souza. He went onto his roof of his house and he had a dog plushie. It wasn't a real dog. It was just a fake dog. And you're never gonna guess what he did to the dog, the fake dog on top of the house. He apparently, I don't know what it is with these Florida people and football, but he apparently started dropping back like he was a quarterback and he threw the Chihuahua doll off the house. He then went and picked it up, went back on his roof and did it again. Hike, doing this and throwing it off the house. He continued to do this until somebody noticed him and they were scared for their life, so they called the cops and he got charged. What was this guy thinking? What is wrong with these people in Florida? Ooh, I know this one's gonna be good. July 29th. That seems like a crazy date because that's like the middle of summer. People start doing weird things in summer. July 29th, let's see what happens. On July 29th, there was a guy by the name of Robbie Stratton who walked inside of a store, just a random store, like a Dollar General. He walked inside of the store, but he was carrying two different things that were very weird. In one hand, he had an alcoholic beverage. He had a beer. He was just drinking, you know, enjoying the summer. But in his left hand, he had a live alligator in his hand. After he walked into the store with an alligator in his hand, he walks up to the counter saying, "Oh, are you guys out of beer?" The guy that was working at the cash register was just like, He ended up calling the cops and got this guy in trouble. Let's do this one right here, October 25th. Okay, so on October 25th, there was a guy in Florida. He was walking around at night, and then he ended up taking somebody's car. He saw a car that he liked, he hijacked it, he took it, and he started driving away. After a couple of minutes, he realized that there was a baby in the back seat of the car. So he gets out, he stops the car that he stole, he takes the baby out, returns the baby back to where he stole the car, gets back in, and runs away. What the? I don't even know how to feel about this. I mean, it's really messed up that he stole somebody's car, but he's a nice enough guy to realize that he stole somebody's baby. He returned the baby. He didn't want to be a kidnapper. He just wanted the car. That's insane. That's not the only weird thing that happened on this date. Apparently, there was a guy who went through a Wendy's drive-thru. He was ordering a chicken sandwich, but for some reason, it was taking so long. This guy was waiting in line, waiting and waiting at the window, and they were taking super long. And then when they finally opened up the window to give him his chicken sandwich, he threw an alligator at the person in the window and drove away. What? Now, don't get me wrong. I've been to fast food places where I've been sitting in the line for a long time. Sometimes McDonald's gets backed up. They get a lot of customers. I don't eat that stuff anymore. But when I used to eat that stuff, it would take, 10, 15 minutes sometimes. But I never once thought to throw an alligator at the window. How do you even have an alligator? Like, what? Do you just pull that out of your inventory? Let's do this right here. August 14th. Let's see what happened on August 14th. There was a cop in Florida that went to Burger King. He went through the drive-thru. He ordered a burger. And then when he started eating it, he realized there was something weird about the burger he got. He started to think that they put dirt on his food. This cop literally thought that Burger King put dirt on his food, so he reported it to, his higher up people. He tried to get this Burger King shut down, so they did an investigation into his burger to see if it was actually dirt, and an investigation reveals that it was seasoning. What? What type of messed up tongue do you have? Also, you're a cop. How did you get that wrong? On April 16th, 2018, there was a man who broke into a GameStop, right? Like a GameStop where they sell games and consoles and stuff. He broke into a GameStop, but instead of wearing like a mask or something to cover his identity so he didn't get in trouble, he wore a transparent bag. There's actually a real picture of this guy. He's wearing like a water bottle bag. Like, have you ever seen this type of water? Like, this like little plastic thing that covers this water? This guy got done with drinking his water. He puts the bag over his head, but he doesn't realize that this isn't, like, it's not covering his face. This dude ended up getting in trouble because, they literally have footage of him actually running around with a transparent bag on his head. Come on, bro. Let's do this one. November 1st. This kid put November 1st. I don't know what's wrong with him, but let's do November 1st. Okay, on November 1st, there was a Florida man who got arrested for stealing a vehicle. This guy stole a vehicle right here. He was driving and driving and driving, and the cops found out, so they chased him, caught up to him, and when they finally pulled him over, he had a monkey, a baby monkey, clinging to his chest. Now, this is already weird by itself, but it gets even weirder when you realize that when they started questioning this guy and asking him why he decided to steal this car and what he was doing and why he decided to do this, he said that this baby monkey told him to do it. He said that the monkey, this baby monkey who's wearing a diaper, told him to steal the car. That is, bro, what the? For some reason, it seems like a lot of you are born in January. I see a ton of January comments, so I'm gonna look at some of the weirdest thing that's happened in the month of January. I'm not gonna look at a specific day. We're gonna see what the weirdest things that have happened in the month of January, because honestly, like, January is right after Christmas. It's when people start doing their New Year's resolutions, so a lot of weird stuff happens. Bro, on January 5th, there was a Florida man who disguised himself in a bull costume. He put on a bull costume, right? He was literally like walking around like a bull. Then he went to his ex-girlfriend's house and he tried to burn down her house with pasta sauce. Yeah, what? I'm not even kidding. This guy went to his ex-girlfriend's house, threw a bunch of pasta sauce on her house. Her house went from looking like a nice little white house to a bunch of red pasta sauce all over her house, and then he tried lighting the sauce on fire. What is this guy doing? Also, What does the bull costume have to do with anything? Why? What? Bro, this is insane. Oh my God. So on January 24th, there was a long traffic jam, right? There was a bunch of traffic somewhere in Florida. I think it was like Orlando or something. There was a ton of cars backed up, waiting to go. They're honking at each other. So this guy decided to get out of his car. He set up a little table, pulled out maple syrup, a plate, a fork, some pancakes, and butter, and started eating. What the? Now, I've been in some crazy traffic jams before where I've actually gotten out and, you know, thrown the football with my friend. I remember me and him were on the way to Pittsburgh for a football game, and there was a long traffic jam. So we got out, we were playing catch, but I have never seen somebody get out and start making pancakes. What the Somebody said look at December 31st. That's actually a good idea. That's right before the new year. So New Year's Eve, right before everyone's, you know, going out and partying. Like, everyone's partying on December 31st. So let's see what happened on December 31st. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I expected this day to be really crazy, but when I looked this up, I ended up finding even crazier things than I ever expected. There were like 12 crazy stories that happened on this day, so get ready. On December 31st, New Year's Eve, this man right here was walking around his neighborhood, right? The only thing that was weird about this was the fact that he was walking around his neighborhood with a mop on his head. Now, don't start making any jokes. Everybody says I always have a mop on my head. Very funny. This guy had an actual mop on his head. He's like a 55-year-old guy. That's not the only thing. Instead of just walking around like a weirdo, he decided to go to his neighbors' houses, knock on their door on New Year's Eve, and ask for eggs. Actually, no, he didn't ask for eggs. He demanded that all of his neighbors give him eggs. Now, I don't know if Walmart was closed or something, but this guy with a mop on his head came up to everybody's door and asked them for eggs. Said, give me eggs now. What the? Bro, this is insane. Also, on December 31st, there was a guy who met a girl on a dating app. He was like, okay, this girl's really cute. He met her, he texted her, and they were gonna meet up. So they ended up meeting up. They were gonna go eat at a sports bar. They were gonna go to like Buffalo Wild Wings and go eat and watch football, stuff like this. But this guy ended up getting arrested because he went to the girl's house to pick her up on a stolen Walmart mobility scooter. You know those scooters that are inside Walmart right when you walk in, like those things that old people use, and when they back up, it goes beep, beep, beep. This guy stole one of these from Walmart, drove it to his girlfriend's house to take her to the sports bar. What the I'm pretty sure the girl ended up reporting him. She realized that he didn't have a car and he was weird. That's insane. What the On December 31st, there was a 33-year-old girl in court. Her name is Dorleans Philidor, and she was sitting in a wheelchair next to the judge in court. She was getting like judged on her traffic ticket or something. All of a sudden, while they were doing, you know, the court stuff, this girl decided to throw her poop at the judge. Now, I don't know how this girl ended up pooping in the middle of the courtroom, but as she was getting read her sentence, as the judge was like, okay, you're going to jail for like 6 months, she apparently had poop in her hand. She starts throwing it at the judge in the courtroom. Everybody runs out. People are screaming, running away. They don't want to get poop like touched on them. And apparently this girl, when she was throwing the poop, she said, it's protein. It's good for you. What? What are people thinking? This is hilarious, bro. So you know how on New Year's Eve, on December 31st, people normally like get kind of rowdy. It's a party, New Year's, blah, blah, blah. People drink a lot of, you know, stuff that they shouldn't be drinking. Well, there was a guy by the name of John Barton. And this guy was at his friend's house. He was partying with them. Nothing weird was going on. They were having a couple drinks, blah, blah, blah. Just a very normal New Year's Eve party. Once he leaves the party and he starts driving home, he accidentally crashed into his own house. Wait, it gets crazier. And then after realizing that he crashed into his own house, he started to lock in. He was like, oh my God. So he reversed the car and then he put the car in park or whatever, and he got out to look at the damage. But then his own car ran him over. He ran himself over with his own car. He thought he put the car in park, but he didn't. When he reversed his car to look at the damage, he accidentally put it in drive, and when he got out of his car to look at the house, the car ends up hitting him again. He ran himself over. Now, it wasn't like a crazy crash. This was all like okay, but the fact that he ran himself over with a car, that's insane. Bro, you ran into your own house, and then you ran yourself over. Bro, Just pay attention. I honestly love making these videos. It's so much fun. If you want to be shown in the next episode when I make another video, comment down below your birthday right now and tell me why I should pick it. You guys know I read all my comments, so do it and never go to Florida because you're gonna be in one of these stories. Yo, so about a month ago, I uploaded my weirdest video ever. The title of this video says, "This guy is weird," and the reason that it shows a super weird looking guy and it says that he's a poop eater is because in that video, I went online and I found a bunch of different stories of people doing some very weird things. Now, how I did this is I went to Google and I searched up my birthday, November 25th. Then, after I searched up my birthday, I searched up Florida man. Now, when you type in a random day, like November 25th, and you type in Florida man, you can see some very weird stories of some very weird people doing very weird things on your birthday. Like, for example, on my birthday in 2023, there was somebody in Florida who was just chilling in his backyard, cutting down some tree branches, when all of a sudden, 120 bees started swarming him and stinging him, and then he fell. Now, how I made that video special was I posted on my community tab and I told you guys to tell me when your birthday was. I said that this was for a video and I got 12,000 comments. A bunch of you have told me exactly when your birthday was, so I'm gonna go to Google. I'm gonna search up your birthday, like this, for example, January 7th. I'm gonna go search that up, see what happened on your birthday, and this is going to be crazy. On January 7th, this guy right here by the name of Kevin Miller walked into a Walmart. Then he started stuffing stuff into the backpack, and once I tell you what he stuffed inside there, you're gonna be like, what? He started stuffing pepper jack cheese, pepperoni, deviled eggs, cheesecake, banana pudding, chicken salad, and the last thing he stuffed in his backpack was 5 boxes of NFL trading cards. What the I don't know what type of soup this guy was trying to make in his backpack, but this is weird. If I ran into this guy in Walmart, I'd be scared. InVideo AI is back with a crazy new update. In their newest 4.0 update, they added in a crazy new feature that I didn't even think was possible. It's called AI Twin. This feature allows anybody to create crazy videos with just their face. All you have to do is record a video of your face, and then InVideo will literally generate a AI version of you, your own little avatar, and you can use this to create studio quality videos. I've used this to send videos to my family and my friends of like my avatar saying, "What's up, happy birthday," stuff like that, and they're always so confused as to how I did it. They think I did a bunch of editing, but no, I just used InVideo AI. InVideo doesn't replace your creativity, it kind of enhances it. It allows you to make good content while you focus on what really matters. You don't want to deal with all the hiccups with editing. You can just use this and get it over with. You can edit absolutely anything you want with these videos too using InVideo AI. Like you can change this into a cat. Like look, now it's showing a cat. It's pretty easy. InVideo AI is the creative partner that you've always wanted right by your side. Go ahead and click the link in the description to download InVideo AI today. You can go ahead and create your free character and start making some fun videos. All right, let's pick another birthday. I think I'm gonna go with this one right here, 27th of May. The reason I'm picking this is because somebody else said same. That's also my birthday. So a couple of people have a birthday on the 27th of May. Let's see what weird stuff happened on May 27th. Oh my God, this day is very weird. Okay, so the first thing that happened on May 27th was somebody by the name of Michael Dankner got in trouble because apparently he attacked his mom after she refused to dress up his mannequin. What? According to the story, it says that this guy and his mom were in the backyard when he asked her if she could dress up his pet mannequin. After she said no, this guy reportedly stood in a doorway to prevent his mom from coming inside. Because he was blocking her from entering the house, the mom pushed the mannequin over and ran inside. This guy then got so mad that he ran to the kitchen, pushed her to the floor, then he picked up a couple of dumplings that his mom made for dinner, he took it off the stove and started to shove them in her mouth. What the heck? That's not the only weird thing that happened on May 27th. On May 27th, somebody by the name of Nicholas Kevin Chu was arrested when he bought a bunch of chickens, like the rotisserie chickens that you can buy from Walmart. He went to a local football field, set the chicken up on the 20-yard line, and then lined up and kicked it like it was a field goal. He ended up kicking multiple of these rotisserie chickens through the goalposts. Somebody saw him and called the cops on him. What was this guy thinking? Whenever I buy like a rotisserie chicken, I want to eat it. I don't want to kick it through a field goal post. What the that was a really, really weird date. Let's check this one out right here. September 2nd. Okay, that sounds like a really, really random date. I feel like a lot of stuff happened, so let's check it. On September 2nd in Florida, there was a man called Dalton Souza. He went onto his roof of his house and he had a dog plushie. It wasn't a real dog. It was just a fake dog. And you're never gonna guess what he did to the dog, the fake dog on top of the house. He apparently, I don't know what it is with these Florida people and football, but he apparently started dropping back like he was a quarterback and he threw the Chihuahua doll off the house. He then went and picked it up, went back on his roof and did it again. Hike, doing this and throwing it off the house. He continued to do this until somebody noticed him and they were scared for their life, so they called the cops and he got charged. What was this guy thinking? What is wrong with these people in Florida? Ooh, I know this one's gonna be good. July 29th. That seems like a crazy date because that's like the middle of summer. People start doing weird things in summer. July 29th, let's see what happens. On July 29th, there was a guy by the name of Robbie Stratton who walked inside of a store, just a random store, like a Dollar General. He walked inside of the store, but he was carrying two different things that were very weird. In one hand, he had an alcoholic beverage. He had a beer. He was just drinking, you know, enjoying the summer. But in his left hand, he had a live alligator in his hand. After he walked into the store with an alligator in his hand, he walks up to the counter saying, "Oh, are you guys out of beer?" The guy that was working at the cash register was just like, he ended up calling the cops and got this guy in trouble. Let's do this one right here, October 25th. Okay, so on October 25th, there was a guy in Florida. He was walking around at night and then he ended up taking somebody's car. He saw a car that he liked, he hijacked it, he took it, and he started driving away. After a couple of minutes, he realized that there was a baby in the back seat of the car. So he gets out, he stops the car that he stole, he takes the baby out, returns the baby back to where he stole the car, gets back in and runs away. What the? I don't even know how to feel about this. I mean, it's really messed up that he stole somebody's car, but he's a nice enough guy to realize that he stole somebody's baby. He returned the baby. He didn't want to be a kidnapper. He just wanted the car. That's insane. That's not the only weird thing that happened on this date. Apparently, there was a guy who went through a Wendy's drive-thru. He was ordering a chicken sandwich, but for some reason, it was taking so long. This guy was waiting in line, waiting and waiting at the window, and they were taking super long. And then when they finally opened up the window to give him his chicken sandwich, he threw an alligator at the person in the window and drove away. What? Now, don't get me wrong. I've been to fast food places where I've been sitting in the line for a long time. Sometimes McDonald's gets backed up. They get a lot of customers. I don't eat that stuff anymore. But when I used to eat that stuff, you know, it would take, 10, 15 minutes sometimes. But I never once thought to throw an alligator at the window. How do you even have an alligator? Like, what? Did you just pull that out of your inventory? Let's do this right here. August 14th. Let's see what happened on August 14th. There was a cop in Florida that went to Burger King. He went through the drive-thru. He ordered a burger. And then when he started eating it, he realized there was something weird about the burger he got. He started to think that they put dirt on his food. This cop literally thought that Burger King put dirt on his food, so he reported it to, his higher up people. He tried to get this Burger King shut down, so they did an investigation into his burger to see if it was actually dirt, and an investigation reveals that it was seasoning. What? What type of messed up tongue do you have? Also, you're a cop. How did you get that wrong? On April 16th, 2018, there was a man who broke into a GameStop, right? Like a GameStop where they sell games and consoles and stuff. He broke into a GameStop, but instead of wearing like a mask or something to cover his identity so he didn't get in trouble, he wore a transparent bag. There's actually a real picture of this guy. He's wearing like a water bottle bag. Like, have you ever seen this type of water? Like, this like little plastic thing that covers this water? This guy got done with drinking his water. He puts the bag over his head, but he doesn't realize that this isn't, like, it's not covering his face. This dude ended up getting in trouble because, they literally have footage of him actually running around with a transparent bag on his head. Come on, bro. Let's do this one. November 1st. This kid put November 1st. I don't know what's wrong with him, but let's do November 1st. Okay, on November 1st, there was a Florida man who got arrested for stealing a vehicle. This guy stole a vehicle right here. He was driving and driving and driving, and the cops found out, so they chased him, caught up to him, and when they finally pulled him over, he had a monkey, a baby monkey, clinging to his chest. Now, this is already weird by itself, but it gets even weirder when you realize that when they started questioning this guy and asking him why he decided to steal this car and what he was doing and, you know, why he decided to do this, he said that this baby monkey told him to do it. He said that the monkey, this baby monkey who's wearing a diaper, told him to steal the car. That is, bro, what the? For some reason, it seems like a lot of you are born in January. I see a ton of January comments, so I'm gonna look at some of the weirdest thing that's happened in the month of January. I'm not gonna look at a specific date. We're gonna see what the weirdest things that have happened in the month of January, because honestly, like, January is right after Christmas. It's when people start doing their New Year's resolutions, so a lot of weird stuff happens. Bro, on January 5th, there was a Florida man who disguised himself in a bull costume. He put on a bull costume, right? He was literally like walking around like a bull. Then he went to his ex-girlfriend's house and he tried to burn down her house with pasta sauce. Yeah, what? I'm not even kidding. This guy went to his ex-girlfriend's house, threw a bunch of pasta sauce on her house. Her house went from looking like a nice little white house to a bunch of red pasta sauce all over her house, and then he tried lighting the sauce on fire. What is this guy doing? Also, what does the bull costume have to do with anything? Why? What? Bro, this is insane. Oh my God. So on January 24th, there was a long traffic jam, right? There was a bunch of traffic somewhere in Florida. I think it was like Orlando or something. There was a ton of cars backed up, waiting to go. They're honking at each other. So this guy decided to get out of his car. He set up a little table, pulled out maple syrup, a plate, a fork, some pancakes, and butter, and started eating. What the? Now, I've been in some crazy traffic jams before where I've actually gotten out and, you know, thrown the football with my friend. I remember me and him were on the way to Pittsburgh for a football game, and there was a long traffic jam. So we got out, we were playing catch, but I have never seen somebody get out and start making pancakes. What the Somebody said look at December 31st. That's actually a good idea. That's right before the new year. So New Year's Eve, right before everyone's, you know, going out and partying. Like, everyone's partying on December 31st. So let's see what happened on December 31st. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I expected this day to be really crazy, but when I looked this up, I ended up finding even crazier things than I ever expected. There were like 12 crazy stories that happened on this day, so get ready. On December 31st, New Year's Eve, this man right here was walking around his neighborhood, right? The only thing that was weird about this was the fact that he was walking around his neighborhood with a mop on his head. Now, don't start making any jokes. Everybody says I always have a mop on my head. Very funny. This guy had an actual mop on his head. He's like a 55-year-old guy. That's not the only thing. Instead of just walking around like a weirdo, he decided to go to his neighbors' houses, knock on their door on New Year's Eve, and ask for eggs. Actually, no, he didn't ask for eggs. He demanded that all of his neighbors give him eggs. Now, I don't know if Walmart was closed or something, but this guy with a mop on his head came up to everybody's door and asked them for eggs. Said, give me eggs now. What the? Bro, this is insane. Also, on December 31st, there was a guy who met a girl on a dating app. He was like, okay, this girl's really cute. He met her, he texted her, and they were gonna meet up. So they ended up meeting up. They were gonna go eat at a sports bar. They were gonna go to like Buffalo Wild Wings and go eat and watch football, stuff like this. But this guy ended up getting arrested because he went to the girl's house to pick her up on a stolen Walmart mobility scooter. You know those scooters that are inside Walmart right when you walk in, like those things that old people use, and when they back up, it goes beep, beep, beep. This guy stole one of these from Walmart, drove it to his girlfriend's house to take her to the sports bar. What the I'm pretty sure the girl ended up reporting him. She realized that he didn't have a car and he was weird. That's insane. What the On December 31st, there was a 33-year-old girl in court. Her name is Dorleans Philidor, and she was sitting in a wheelchair next to the judge in court. She was getting like judged on her traffic ticket or something. All of a sudden, while they were doing, you know, the court stuff, this girl decided to throw her poop at the judge. Now, I don't know how this girl ended up pooping in the middle of the courtroom, but as she was getting read her sentence, as the judge was like, okay, you're going to jail for like 6 months, she apparently had poop in her hand. She starts throwing it at the judge in the courtroom. Everybody runs out. People are screaming, running away. They don't want to get poop like touched on them. And apparently this girl, when she was throwing the poop, she said, it's protein. It's good for you. What? What are people thinking? This is hilarious, bro. So you know how on New Year's Eve, on December 31st, people normally like get kind of rowdy. It's a party, New Year's, blah, blah, blah. People drink a lot of, stuff that they shouldn't be drinking. Well, there was a guy by the name of John Barton. And this guy was at his friend's house. He was partying with them. Nothing weird was going on. They were having a couple drinks, blah, blah, blah. Just a very normal New Year's Eve party. Once he leaves the party and he starts driving home, he accidentally crashed into his own house. Wait, it gets crazier. And then after realizing that he crashed into his own house, he started to lock in. He was like, oh my God. So he reversed the car and then he put the car in park or whatever, and he got out to look at the damage. But then his own car ran him over. He ran himself over with his own car. He thought he put the car in park, but he didn't. When he reversed his car to look at the damage, he accidentally put it in drive, and when he got out of his car to look at the house, the car ends up hitting him again. He ran himself over. Now, it wasn't like a crazy crash. This was all like okay, but the fact that he ran himself over with a car, that's insane. Bro, you ran into your own house, and then you ran yourself over. Bro, just pay attention. I honestly love making these videos. It's so much fun. If you want to be shown in the next episode when I make another video, comment down below your birthday right now and tell me why I should pick it. You guys know I read all my comments, so do it and never go to Florida because you're going to be in one of these stories. Yo, so about a year ago, I made one of the weirdest videos I've ever posted to my channel. The title of this video was This Guy Is Weird, and if you look at the thumbnail, it says that this dude's a poop eater. Basically, what I did in that video is I went online and I found random stories of random people doing very weird stuff. Now, how I did this is I went to Google and I searched up my birthday, November 25th, right? Then after I typed that in, I typed in Florida man because everybody in Florida is so weird. And when you search up a random birthday and then the word Florida man, you see a bunch of weird stories. Like on November 25th, on my birthday, in 2019, there was a guy who broke into a elementary school and started spreading his poop everywhere. I'm not even kidding. Things like that happen in Florida. Now, what I did to make this video special is I just posted on my community tab like 1 minute ago. It says 2 minutes ago. And I said, tell me when your birthday is. This is for a video. Now, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to go through these comments, search up your birthday and see what happened on your birthday. See what weird things happened on your birthday. I did this before. Everybody enjoyed it so much. So we're going to do it again. Be prepared. This is gonna be crazy. All right, so the first comment I see is February 8th, 2012. We're gonna see what happened on this kid's birthday. It's about to be weird. Apparently, on February 8th in Florida, there was this guy who got arrested for trying to surf in his truck on a beach. For some reason, this guy drove his truck onto a beach, thought it was gonna like surf on the waves or whatever, and it ended up becoming totaled and he ruined his car and he went to jail. All right, the next one I see is March 4th, 2009. On March 4th in Florida, there was a man that was accused on jumping on his neighbor's trampoline, right? Without permission, but he had no clothes. What the? After he got done jumping on their trampoline with no clothes on, he ended up breaking into her home and he still had no clothes on. This guy's name was Adrian Lee Gonzalez Broadway. He was 21 years old and he got in trouble for jumping on somebody's... Bro, imagine you go outside, like you get home from school and you're like, okay, I can't wait to go jump on the trampoline. And you go outside and there's just a grown man jumping with no clothes on. All right, the next one is November 17th. This one's gonna be good because this is right next to my birthday and a lot of people do some weird stuff in November. I don't know what it is, but November's always the weird month. So let's see what happened on November 17th. On November 17th, this guy right here broke into somebody's house, used their bathtub, slept in their bed, and then made themselves some coffee. Bro, this dude, what? He literally broke into someone's house and acted like he lived there. He didn't steal anything. He didn't do anything. He just like made coffee and took a nap. Also on November 17th, this guy right here got arrested because he was driving in his car and then all of a sudden he noticed that a whole, like a street light was down. He ended up grabbing the traffic light, putting it on top of his car. This is his car. He had like a 2001 Toyota Camry. He didn't have like a truck. He loaded the long ass street light on top of his car and drove on the highway for multiple miles with a huge street light on his car for no reason. The craziest story that happened on November 17th though was, this is insane. I knew November 17th would be crazy. A guy from Florida was charged with a crime after being accused of stealing an alligator from a golf course and then attempting to throw the alligator onto somebody's roof. What? When the officers asked him why he stole an alligator and threw it on somebody's roof, he said that he was teaching the alligator a lesson. What the hell? What's going on here? This kid right here said December 30th. So 5 days after Christmas, I gotta see what was happening in Florida, dude. On December 30th, there was a guy that walked into a 7-Eleven gas station, right? He put some gloves on, took all of the chicken wings out of the gas station and then left. After the man ended up leaving, he left in a car with 2 other people. They couldn't really find him until a couple of hours later. They actually pulled that car over. They found him and all 3 people in the car were detained and the suspect was charged with disorderly conduct and they ended up finding like 40 chicken wings in the back seat. What? You know what? Why don't we search up December 25th? Why don't we look at what happened on Christmas, bro? People are crazy, and I bet they get into some crazy stuff on Christmas, so let's find out what's happened. Bro, on Christmas Day in 2023, the police arrested a guy who was trying to run to London across the Atlantic Ocean in a homemade hamster wheel. The US Coast Guard ended up like arresting this guy named Reza Baluchi 70 miles off of an island. This Reza Baluchi guy ended up making a homemade hamster wheel and he tried to run all the way across the ocean to get to London. Do you know how long the ocean? Are you dumb? Somebody said July 1st is their birthday. I think that's a really good date. So let's see what happened on July 1st. I have a good feeling about this one. Bro, on July 1st, this guy right here was arrested after breaking into a restaurant, right? And guess what he did after he broke into the restaurant? He cooked himself a hamburger. There's literally security camera footage of him like getting the frozen patty and cooking. Bro, why? Ooh, look at this. This girl commented and said August 7th. So we're definitely gonna do it, bro. That might be my next girlfriend. Bro, this guy on August 7th, just guess what he did, bro. Let's play a little game. Do you think this guy, A, farted on a bunch of little kids at the park, B, stole a Mario plushie from GameStop and then threw it in the trash, or C, sat in a drive-thru for 5 hours and refused to move? Well, if you guessed any of those, you're actually wrong. This weird guy named Anthony Fiacco was taken to jail after he threw spaghetti sauce at his mom during an argument. This dude was literally arguing with his mom at dinner and then grabbed the bottle of spaghetti sauce and just threw it. What? Let's type in January 1st. Let's see what people were doing on January 1st. Like when it's a new year, people have their New Year's resolutions. They're so happy, but some of these people are crazy. Bro! Okay, so on January 1st, the first day of the year, this guy went to McDonald's to order. After he ordered his food, he sat down and he was ready to eat, but then he realized he didn't have a straw. How could he drink his drink if he didn't have a straw? So he went up to the counter and instead of asking, "Can I get a straw, please?" he ends up attacking the employee because she didn't give him a straw. That's not the only weird thing that's happened on January 1st. There was a man who walked into a GameStop, right, on January 1st. He was wearing a Spider-Man costume, so people didn't really think much of it. They probably thought like, oh, it's just like a New Year's costume or something. No, he ended up going up to the GameStop and stealing a bunch of games. Okay, for some reason, this kid's profile picture caught me off guard or something. He looks like a damn ape. March 20th. Let's see what happened on your birthday, buddy. What the? On March 20th, there was a guy who was just walking around in his neighborhood, normal, like, you know, after work, 5 p.m., just walking around after work, just chilling. And apparently he got attacked by a crazy squirrel. This wasn't all though, because he wasn't the only one attacked. Apparently there's an aggressive squirrel that was continuously terrorizing a neighborhood, which caused residents to act in an extreme abundance of caution. That's a lot of big words for me. I'm kind of stupid. But basically there's a crazy squirrel somewhere in Florida that was attacking people. What? Just stomp on him. All of these stories so far were really, really crazy, but for some reason, this next date that I typed in was one of the craziest days in history. There were so many stupid, crazy, amazing stories. Just prepare yourself. You know what? Let's do this. January 10th. The only reason I'm doing this is because somebody left me a heart. Anytime somebody leaves a heart in a comment section, it reminds me of all those little kids who are like, oh, I love you, I love you, mommy, heart. Like, oh my God, it's so stupid. Let's see, January 10th, what happened? A Florida man was arrested on Thursday after he threw a pizza at his father because he was mad at his dad for giving birth to him. According to the father, he was on the front porch when he got home. He was waiting for his pizza delivery driver to show up. And when the father went into the house, the son came inside and threw the pizza at his face and started yelling at, what? Why would you order a pizza just to throw it at somebody's face? You should have at least like baked a pizza, like a stupid, why would you waste money? Also on January 10th, there was a guy named Joseph Lasagna, and apparently he was at a food place and he ordered a Philly cheesesteak sandwich. Now that seems very normal, right? You know, a Philly cheesesteak, it's just a sandwich. Apparently when he got his sandwich, he became so mad that he started fighting the cashier because the Philly cheesesteak was served on a sesame seed bun. You fought somebody because of a bun? Bro, also on this same day, there was a guy in Florida who was feeling kind of sick, right? So he ended up going to the hospital. When he got to the hospital, he signed in, he sat down, he was just chilling, but then he realized that he was sitting there for like 30 minutes and an hour and he was still feeling sick and nobody was helping him. There was like a super long line of people ahead of him. He didn't know what to do. So he got so tired of waiting, he ended up stealing an ambulance and driving home. What? Bro, I don't know what's going on this date, January 10th, but bro, look at this. Apparently, there was a man running from the cops. The cops were trying to get him. I don't know if it was because, I don't really know. Was he speeding or something like that? But they were just chasing this guy and he was running. Apparently, they were struggling to catch him. They couldn't catch him. He was so fast, he was getting away from them. But for some reason, he was running through a neighborhood and he noticed a couple of cats. He ended up stopping to pet the cats for like 15 minutes and then got caught and got sent to jail. What are you doing? I mean, I love cats, don't get me wrong. Why would you stop to pet the cat, bro? Did you think you were gonna get some XP or something? Bro, this guy right here, this creepy guy, guess what he did? He got arrested for kidnapping 27 people, right? So he captured 27 people, and guess what he forced them to do? He forced them to play Yahtzee for 36 hours straight. You know what Yahtzee is? That's just like that game that your grandma plays. It's like a little board game or whatever. People don't play board games anymore because they just sit here and scroll on their phones. But he forced 27 people to play Yahtzee for a day and a half straight. If you see somebody like this in public, you better watch out because he might kidnap you and make you play a board game. Yo, so today we're looking at the weirdest people on the internet. Like this guy. This guy's name is James Minion, and one day he wanted to go to Burger King to get some dinner. He pulled up to the drive-thru and he said, hey, can I get 2 cheeseburgers, but make sure there's no pickles on it. Now this James guy, he hated pickles. Everybody in his family knew that he would never eat pickles. The guy in the drive-thru said, okay, sure, yeah, we won't put pickles on your burger, come around. James pulled up to the window, waited, got his food, and when he got his food, he checked one of his cheeseburgers. He wanted to check it just to make sure there was no pickles on it, and when he checked, there was no pickles. So he drove home, and when he got home, he started eating. He ate the first burger, it was really, really good, and then when he started eating the second burger, he realized there was pickles on it. Immediately, this James guy drove all the way back to the Burger King, but instead of just going through the drive-thru and saying, hey, can I get an extra burger? You forgot to, not put pickles on it. He drove straight through the drive-thru at 50 miles per hour. Like, what? The pickles aren't that bad, bro. Today's video is gonna be a bunch of stories just like this one of weird people doing weird things, but this video is gonna be special. Instead of just talking about random people who did random stuff on random days, I'm actually gonna be seeing what happened on your birthday. You see, in the last episode of This Guy Is Weird, I told you guys to comment your birthday in the comments. Now, I'm gonna be choosing out of these 23,000 comments on the last video, we're gonna be picking your birthdays. We're gonna see what weird stuff happened on your birthdays. Get ready, let's go. On August 3rd, this guy right here, he looks really, very weird. He decided to go visit his mom in the hospital. Instead of just sitting next to her and hanging out, he brought his tattoo kit and drew tattoos all over her face. And then when she woke up from the coma a couple of months later, she was like, what the fuck? Why would you do that, bro? That's not the only weird thing that happened on this day. Look at this. So on August 3rd, this guy right here with a very weird tattoo. Anyway, this guy was very, very bored. It was the middle of the summer. He didn't really have anything to do. And all of his friends recently got arrested. So all of his friends were in jail and he was kind of lonely and bored. So guess what he decided to do? He didn't just call them or anything. He decided to break into the jail to hang out with them. Yeah, this bald guy broke into jail just to hang out with his friend. Bro, this video is sponsored by Tester Up. I really love video games. I love playing games, but sometimes it gets kind of boring. With Tester Up, though, you can play games and get paid real money just to play. Signing up is super easy. All you have to do is download and create an account with your email or phone number, and then you can browse the available tasks and games to follow the instructions. For example, they could say, download this game, you play it, you get to a certain level, you get money. My favorite game is the Klondike Farm game. All you do is like, you basically farm, you set up a farm, and you get paid for it. Tester Up has thousands of 5-star reviews, so you know it's legit. All you have to do is play games, you get money. It's amazing. If you want to start making money from playing games today, then download Tester Up with the link in the description, or you can scan the QR code that's on the screen right now. Start making some money, have some fun playing games. Shout out to Tester Up. I love this. All right, that was very, very weird. I'm never looking at that day again. Let's see what other days were weird. For some reason, a lot of people are saying April 9th. Look, this kid said April 9th. This kid said, I subbed, do April 9th. This guy said, please do April 9th. I don't know why everybody's being born on April 9th. Your parents are up to some weird stuff. But let's see what weird stuff happened on April 9th. That's a weird day. So on April 9th, this guy right here, okay, you already can tell that something weird's about to happen. Well, this guy, he worked at McDonald's. So he was one of the employees. He was back there just, you know, chefing it up, cooking up all that nasty stuff they serve at McDonald's. It's not food, by the way. But this guy decided one day when his manager wasn't working that he would steal a bunch of chicken nuggets. I don't know why he wanted to steal chicken nuggets. I don't know, but instead of just like putting them in his bag or maybe like holding them in his pocket or something, he stuffed 80 chicken nuggets in his underwear. When nobody was looking, he was like stuffing it into his, what the? Now he ended up getting caught, and how he got caught was the employees, like his other coworkers who were also cooking, they noticed that his stomach region looked really, really big. Like he's a skinny guy, but when he left for work, he was like, just acting like, bro, did you really need that many chicken McNuggets? And also, bro, why would you even eat those? You put them in your pants. All right, let's choose this one. It says March 16th. I've been subscribed for a long time. Okay, thanks, bro. The reason I'm choosing this isn't because you have a Hello Kitty profile picture. It's because March 16th sounds like a very weird day. I don't know why, but it seems like weird people do weird stuff on that day, so let's check it out. Bro, okay, so on this day, this guy right here, just take a look at him, bro. He's wearing his shirt inside out. He's like, huh? He's super confused. Let me explain why he's confused. This was a picture that was taken of him after he got arrested, okay? Now, this guy's name is Edward, and Edward had been on the run from the cops for a very long time. The cops weren't able to find him. I think he was hiding somewhere, like maybe at his family's house somewhere in a different state. But then one day, this Edward guy turned on the news and he saw himself on the news. They were saying there was a $500 reward for his capture. Well, this Edward guy isn't very smart. He decided to turn himself in for $500. This guy actually thought that if he turned himself in, they would give him the money. What, bro? That's why he seems so confused, bro. They were like, all right, you're getting arrested. They took his picture and he's like, I'm getting arrested? What about $500? So on June 12th, this guy right here was just driving, but he didn't know that his turning signal wasn't working. So as he was driving, he was using his turning signal, but it wasn't working, and there was a cop behind him. The cop ended up pulling him over to tell him, hey, your turning signal's messed up, but he didn't know this. When the cop came up and said, hey, you don't have a turning signal, give me your license or give me your registration, whatever, this guy gave it to him, and the cop was like, okay, this is a fake driver's license. This isn't real. This guy was saying, no, I promise, this is real. This is my real name. But the cop didn't believe him. You want to know why? The reason the cop thought that he was lying and giving him a fake ID was because this guy's name is Bezow Doo-Doo Zopity Bop Bop Bop. I'm not even kidding. This isn't even like fake at all. This guy's name is Bezow Doo-Doo Zopity Bop Bop Bop. This Bezow Doo-Doo Boppity Blah Blah guy ended up getting arrested because he kept talking to the cop saying, I promise it's my name, I promise. And the cop thought he was messing around with him, so he arrested him for lying to a police officer. But it turned out when he went to the jail, they were like, oh my God, your name is Bezow Doo-Doo Zopity Bob Bob. And then they were like, what the hell's wrong with your parents? Also on June 12th, this old guy was tired of his wife. His wife was just complaining and she was just so annoying. She would just, oh, clean the dishes, do this, do the laundry, he was just so annoyed, so he decided to make a plan. This guy decided that he was going to rob a bank and then hopefully get sent to jail for like a month or two so he could get away from his wife. He had it all planned out. On June 12th, he decided to go to the local bank in his town and start robbing it. When the cops showed up, he was like, yay, finally, like, take me, guys. And they took him away and they sent him to jail. Everything was going good. He wanted to be away from his wife, so he was in jail, but then they released him and they sentenced him to house arrest. If you don't know what that means, it basically means you can't leave your house. He was sentenced to 6 months on house arrest, which meant that this guy was stuck with his wife in the house for 6 months straight. All right, so on November 7th, this lady right here got arrested for doing something actually insane. So she was just chilling at home and she made her husband some mac and cheese. He ended up eating the mac and cheese and he was like, oh, this is disgusting. Like, what did you make? Like, how'd you make it? And she ended up explaining to him, oh, I made it with water and cheese and stuff like that. And he was like, why'd you use water? They started to just argue and argue about how bad the mac and cheese was, and she couldn't take it anymore. She didn't want to keep on arguing and arguing. She didn't want to hear all of his complaints, so she ended up stabbing him with a squirrel. Yeah, you're not reading that wrong. You didn't hear it wrong. Wife stabs husband with a squirrel. Apparently, according to the news story, this lady was so fed up that she ran outside. She somehow grabbed a squirrel. How fast do you have to be to grab a squirrel, bro? When I was a kid, I would go outside and I would try to, like, you know, catch birds or catch squirrels, just stuff like that. And I was never able to. I don't know how fast this lady is. Is she an NFL player, basketball player, something like that? I don't even know. That's not the only weird thing that happened on November 7th. What the hell is wrong with this day? All right. This guy right here, just by seeing this, you know this is about to be insane. This might be the craziest story so far. But this guy... This guy's name was Brad, all right? Brad was just driving down his street and he noticed a little kid walking around. Instead of like talking to the little kid and saying, hey, like, do you need help finding your mom or whatever? He ended up kidnapping this kid, right? But guess what happened after that? You're never gonna believe it. This guy was driving around with this kidnapped baby that he just grabbed off the street, and he was driving and driving and driving. He went to the next town over, about 30 minutes away, and he was feeling a little hungry. Now, just by looking at this guy, you know he loves McDonald's. He loves Burger King. You could just tell, right? He pulled up to the McDonald's, and right when he was about to order at the drive-thru, he was looking for his wallet, and he realized, oh my god, I don't have my wallet. He ended up checking his pockets, and he realized that he left his wallet all the way back at home. He really wanted to eat. He didn't know what to do, so he decided to order 15 Big Macs. And then when he got to the window, he grabbed the baby, and he was like, here, I'll trade you this baby for 15 Big Macs. Now, he wasn't joking. He sat there, and he was like, take the baby, take the baby. I want my Big Macs. He was begging for his Big Macs. Once the McDonald's workers realized he wasn't kidding and that this might have actually been like a stolen baby, they called the cops. The cops came, they took him away, they returned the baby. Everything was all good, but this guy never got his Big Macs. How do you eat 15 Big Macs? I mean, look at... What the? Okay, I don't know why, but I feel like looking at this one. All right, so on April 28th, this guy right here, this guy's name was Bobby. This Bobby guy decided to go to Walmart. Now, this sounds very normal, but he went shopping. He started getting, you know, fruit, vegetables, meat. He got a bunch of stuff. He got some water bottles, but he also bought a table. As he was buying this stuff, nobody thought that this was weird. I mean, he bought a table, he bought some food, he bought some drinks, he bought a jacket, stuff like that. But once he left Walmart, he set up the table, he set up a chair, he started eating some food, and this is where it got weird. This guy decided to spend his whole day telling people that their babies were ugly. Anytime somebody came in the front doors at Walmart, he was sitting there at this table saying, your baby's ugly. Eventually, somebody ended up calling the cops on this guy because he was just treating every single baby that came through. He was like, you got a big head, you got big feet. Like, what? Okay, this is the dumbest one right here. So this guy's name is Jonathan. Jonathan was driving in his car, and he ended up getting pulled over because he was speeding. And when the cop came to his window and said, hey, why are you going so fast? Guess what Jonathan did? Instead of saying, oh, I'm sorry, officer, I knew I was speeding, he tried to bribe the officer. He tried to give the officer Sprite and chicken Alfredo. This James guy just got back from a family reunion or something where he had some leftovers, some leftover chicken Alfredo, some leftover Sprite. He thought that if he was like, oh, hey, do you want this nasty food that's probably cold? He thought the cop would be like, oh, yeah, you're good, bro. Go, go, go. Are you serious? I mean, it makes sense. It says that he's from Ohio. I mean, that definitely makes sense, but did you really think that was gonna work? Oh my God, this guy's savage, bro. So this guy right here worked at a bank and he was switching jobs. Now, everybody at his bank really liked him, but he ended up going to jail for what he did, and I'm about to tell you. He brought the cake to work on his final day, and everybody had a nice party saying goodbye, like, oh, it feels so nice working with you, and everybody was eating the cake, enjoying it, but somebody realized that he was the only one not eating the cake. You wanna know why? Apparently, this guy put a ton of laxatives in this cake, which basically makes it so you poop. Like, you poop a ton. And right after people started eating this, they realized, wait, why is my stomach hurting? Everyone started pooping. Like, the whole bank was filled with poop. He ended up going to jail because it caused so much of a disruption. People who were coming through the bank couldn't even get their money because the workers were just pooping everywhere. Imagine you go to the bank and you're trying to get some money. You just look inside and there's just piles of dookie everywhere. What the hell? Leave a comment if you want to be in the next video. Peace out. Okay, so today we're looking at the weirdest people on the internet. Like this guy right here. This guy's name is Mason Jackson. And one day he was just driving down the road having a good time, but he was driving pretty crazy. He was swerving in between different lanes. He almost ran into somebody else, and eventually he got pulled over by a cop. Now, when the cop walked up to the window and said, hey buddy, why are you driving like this? Guess what this guy said? The first thing he said was, my dog was driving. What? This dude really tried to convince the cop that it was his dog that was driving really bad. It was his dog that was swerving, almost hitting people. He tried to get away with it, but it didn't work. He ended up going to jail. That's insane. Today's video is going to be full of more random stories just like that one, but this video is actually going to be special. Instead of just finding random stories that happened on random days, I'm going to be using your birthdays. You see, in the last This Guy Is Weird episode that I made, I told you guys to comment down below, tell me what your birthday was, and then I was gonna go and find weird stuff that happened on your birthdays, so let's go. All right, so I'm in the comments, I'm looking at all of your birthdays. Which one should we do? This kid commented and said 17th of January. Dude, you don't even know how to spell, bro. Go to school. Somebody said do May 6th. That's my birthday. I subscribed and I liked. Okay, because you subscribed and you liked, I'm gonna do your birthday. Let's see what weird things happen. Okay, so on May 6th, 2015, there was a guy by the name of Kevin. I guess this is what he looks like. What? This Kevin guy ended up breaking into a CVS. Now, if you don't know what CVS is, it's basically like a Walgreens. It's kind of like a smaller Walmart. It's just like a store that you can like buy stuff from. Well, this weird guy broke into the CVS at 2 a.m. when they weren't open, and then he just started walking around. Now, they actually got security camera footage of him walking around, and they noticed that he was eating a bunch of food. So he was literally all alone in this huge store, just walking around eating food. But when they opened the store the next day, he wasn't there. They saw a bunch of food all over the floor, a bunch of bags, but guess what he was eating? Out of all of the food that this guy broke in and he could have eaten, he was eating milk duds and tortilla chips. What? Who the hell eats milk duds? Who eats tortilla chips? What? This weird Kevin guy ended up getting arrested, and that was that. Okay, that was a very weird date. Shout out to you. Let's see what other weird things happened on your birthdays. What the? Somebody commented and said, are you Jesus? Why are you asking me if I'm Jesus? What? You know what? Let's do this one right here. Somebody said January 23rd. I feel like that's a very like random day. Like nothing weird happens on January 23rd. So let's see if anything happened. Bro, this is a dumb story. So on January 23rd, there was this man and woman. Now these two people are very normal. They look normal compared to everyone else that's normally in these videos, right? Well, this man and woman were cleaning out their closet. They had a ton of clothes and they were just cleaning out their closet. Somehow, I don't know how, they ended up getting stuck inside of their closet. Like this closet's like so small. I don't know how you get stuck in that, but that wasn't even the biggest problem. The biggest problem was the fact that they didn't have their phones. They couldn't tell anyone that they were stuck in this closet, so they were panicking. They didn't know what to do. They thought they were just gonna die in there, like they were gonna starve to death. They were so nervous. After one full day of sitting in that closet, being trapped in the closet and being so scared and thinking they were gonna die, one of their friends realized that they didn't show up at work, so one of their friends called the cops to go check on them, right? When the cops showed up to the house, the man and the woman in the closet were like, hey, we're in here, like help us, we've been trapped for 24 hours. Guess what happens next though? When the cops get to the closet, they walk up to the closet and they open it. They didn't even unlock it. The closet was unlocked the whole time. The worst part about this story isn't even the fact that they were literally trapped inside of an unlocked closet for 24 hours. The worst part was that the cops said that they found, I don't know how to say this, but they found some urine on the ground. They were trapped inside of this closet that wasn't even locked for 24 hours, and they had to go to the bathroom, so they ended up like, bro, you could have just walked out. It was unlocked the whole time. All right, what other days should we do? What should we do? I want to find a super popular birthday. All right, let's do this. This girl said my birthday's on October 10th, and I subscribed. Okay, shout out to you. That might be my next girlfriend. Let's see what happened on October 10th. What the? Okay, this might be one of the weirdest stories. Okay, so on October 10th, this guy right here, he looks very normal. He's not the weird one in this story. He's very normal. Well, this guy owned a house, right? And at his house, he had one of those Ring doorbell cameras that like records everything at your doorbell. Yeah. Well, this guy was actually at work, and he got a notification on his phone that said somebody was at his door. Now, he was kind of confused. He was like, why is somebody at my house? Like, I'm at work. What is it, like a delivery or something? He ended up loading up the Ring doorbell app to see who was at his house, right? Guess what he saw? He saw a random guy licking his doorbell. I can't even believe I'm saying this, but this dude opened his app and instantly saw that there was a creepy guy licking his doorbell. Now, this is what the guy looks like. They didn't release the footage of this guy licking the doorbell, thankfully, because, dude, if I saw that, I'd probably vomit. But this dude was literally licking this guy's doorbell, and it wasn't even just his doorbell. There were multiple reports of people who lived in that neighborhood that said that this guy was licking their doorbells. Now, a lot of people say, like, don't knock it until you try it, bro. Don't judge until you know what it tastes like. But, bro, I don't care if doorbells taste amazing. I'm never licking a doorbell ever. Dude, another weird thing happened on October 10th. What's wrong with this girl's birthday? Okay, so also, along with the freaking doorbell guy, another weird thing happened. This guy really, really loved Burger King. He was just a huge fan of Burger King, and I mean, you can literally tell. But one day, his love for Burger King just shot through the roof. He decided to break into his local Burger King so he could eat all of their food. Now, he did this at about 1 a.m. where they just closed, so there was no one there. He successfully broke into the Burger King. I don't know how he fit through the door, but he got through the Burger King, and guess what he started eating? He was eating some burgers, he was eating some fries, stuff like that. But when the cops ended up finding him the next day, they found out that he drank 2 gallons of French fry oil. Like the oil that they use to like make the fries and stuff. He drank 2 gallons. Do y'all know how much 2 gallons is? Also, do you know how bad like soybean oil and canola oil is for you? It's so bad for you. This guy drank it. That's why he looks like that. Okay, what's the next date? I think we're going to, ooh, this is a very weird day. This kid said he was born on Feb 29th. I'm literally trolling, bro. Learn how to say February. This kid said December 12th. Bro, how do you not know how to spell your own birthday month? Okay, I've never seen this date before. We have to do this one. So somebody said it's September 4th. For some reason, I feel like nobody's born in September. If you're born in September, comment down below. I doubt you are. September 4th? Let's see what weird stuff happened on that day. Okay, so this guy, his name is James, I think. I don't really know. This James guy really wanted to get a bunch of money, and he noticed that there was a bank across the street, and he wanted to rob this bank. Now, first of all, that's just a horrible idea. Dude, robbing a bank, that's just what they do in movies and stuff. It's not gonna work. You're not gonna be able to successfully rob the bank. But for some reason, he thought he could do it. So he went to a local store that sells like ski masks and stuff. Like if you go to like Dick's Sporting Goods or stuff like that, you can buy a ski mask for like skiing, not for like robbing. But he went to his local store, he bought a ski mask, acted like he was gonna use it to go skiing, and then he robbed the bank with that ski mask. Now, this story probably seems normal right now, but guess what? He actually ended up getting away with it. He ended up stealing like $10,000 from this bank or whatever, but he got caught the next day. You wanna know how he got caught? He was captured on security camera footage leaving the store where he bought the ski mask, and this is the best part. The store where he bought the ski mask was right next door to the bank. This guy literally went into a store, bought a ski mask, walked out, put the ski mask on, walked next door to the bank, robbed the bank. Bro, are you not thinking correctly? Now, I don't claim to be a bank robber, but wouldn't you like, doesn't it make sense to buy the mask somewhere else, not right next door to the place you're gonna rob? That is so dumb, bro. Okay, let's see what other days we should look at. Ooh, somebody said my birthday is on November 4th and I'm old. I'm only 7 years old. Wait, what? I love your videos. They're really cool. They're the best videos I think I've I've ever watched, even though they're weird. Wait, what? You love my videos, but they're weird? Okay, I don't even know what to say. Thanks, I guess. The reason I'm choosing this isn't because this kid left me a huge essay. That's kind of weird, but November 4th is actually my mom's birthday. I want to see what weird things happened on this kid's birthday and my mom's birthday. All right, hopefully nothing weird. Bro, what? So this guy right here, I think his name is Benjamin. I think that's what this says. But this guy broke into a zoo, all right, on November 4th, on my damn mom's birthday. Now, it was actually caught on security camera footage, but what he did was so insane. So he ended up climbing up a random building at this zoo. And then once he was on top of the building, he was just standing there looking around. It was like pitch black. It was the middle of the nighttime. And then he dived into a alligator pond, like a pond that has the alligators. He dove into it. Then when he realized there was alligators in there, he started wrestling with an alligator. He didn't end up getting hurt, but he was wrestling with an alligator. And then once the police realized that there was somebody who broke into this zoo and was wrestling alligators, they ended up pulling up trying to find him, and they couldn't find him. Guess what happened though? After a couple of hours of searching, they found him in the bathroom of the zoo, sleeping on one of the toilets. What? You couldn't have found a better place to sleep? Dude, if I broke into a zoo, I would have found something. I would have slept on the grass or something. I would have slept with the gorillas. Bro, why are you sleeping in the bathroom? Bro, something else happened to my mom. Okay, this is the weirdest day ever. November 4th. What the? So there was this guy who went to Home Depot. He wanted to chop down a tree. There was a tree in his backyard that was always annoying him. Every time he would wake up, the tree would be dropping leaves on his window or whatever. He was really mad at this tree. I don't know how you get mad at a tree. I mean, it seems like he would get mad at a tree. Why do you look like? Well, this guy went to Home Depot. He didn't break in. He actually went at a normal time. He walked into Home Depot at around 3 p.m. Everything was normal. He went to the chainsaw section because he wanted to chop down his tree, right? He wanted to chainsaw his tree down. Well, instead of just grabbing the chainsaw, taking it to the desk, saying, hey, I would like to buy this, and buying it like any normal person, this guy is not normal. He decided that he wasn't going to pay for this chainsaw. Now, instead of just running out with it or trying to hide it, he actually tried to hide it in his pants. This guy shoved a 3-foot-long chainsaw into his pants and tried walking out of the store, and everybody noticed. He really thought he was getting away with it, but there was just this big box inside of his pant leg. Everyone knew something was messed up here. He ended up getting the cops called on him, and they took the chainsaw. Bro, you know how stupid you must have looked? He really thought that was gonna work, bro. Just a humongous thing down your leg. Come on, dude. Okay, what other day should we choose? There's a bunch of people commenting saying like July 26th. This kid said 2019. Wait, what? This kid right here said Februaris 14? Februaris? Okay, y'all gotta go back to school before I make another episode of this. Come on now. So I just found a family on YouTube that needs serious help. Like, look at these videos. This video says kid drowns parents' $3,000 TV in a pool over Fortnite. Setting the house on fire prank on my dad. Sister bakes brother's Xbox controller in an oven. What the? This video literally says mom and son battle over peanut butter cups, and the thumbnail is a mom and son fighting each other. Are they fighting over peanut butter cup? I haven't watched any of the videos on this channel. I've only seen like the thumbnails and how weird these are, but I want to watch this video. It says William shatters my car window to get an Xbox. So I think William is the kid in the family.
It's hard for me to take it completely away. I decided just to take it away for the day, and I'm gonna lock it in the back of his dad's car and hide the key.
So she took her son's Xbox, put it in the back of her husband's car, and she's gonna see what happens.
Where's my Xbox? I just went in the bathroom, went back upstairs, and it's gone.
William,
Where did you put my freaking Xbox?
I had to take it away for the night.
Where is it?
I have it put up.
Where is it put up?
You don't need it for a night, okay? You need a break from the Xbox.
He needs a break from the Xbox. He needs to go on a run, bro. He's getting some boobs.
I didn't do anything wrong. Just give it to me.
No, you can wait till tomorrow.
No, where is it? Give it to me. Where?
No.
Where is it?
It's in the back of your dad's car, and he has the key, and you can't get it. Nope. So you might as well just go in the house and find something more productive to
Just
do
make
inside.
it easy and give it to me right now.
No.
Just do it.
Get in the house. Find something better to do with
I
your
don't go in
time.
the house.
Yep.
I would hate to be these people's neighbor.
William.
Make it easy. So
William.
I'm going to.
This dude, no. This dude just activated Fortnite, pulled out a pickaxe out of his ass. What the hell? Do you hear how loud she's screaming, by the way? bro, I bet their neighbors are never home. They don't want to deal with these people just screaming all the time.
You're crazy!
I just wanted my Xbox back.
Oh my gosh, you can't just go one darn day without it. You're paying for that window.
I'm not paying for it.
Wow. Now, a part of me thinks that this might be like staged, but why would they break a window just for a video? If this isn't fake, then this kid has problems. He can't stay away from his Xbox for one day? Holy sh. So the kid who broke that window, his name is William. And we see in this video, 12 years ago, William throws a temper tantrum because he has to do homework. So William has been like a crazy mother trucker his whole life. He's gonna start crying and screaming because he has to do his homework. I have to see this.
This is William's homework assignment. Well, this is what he thought was his homework assignment. And he really had 2 copies of it. Here's the copy he did.
Yeah, this kid looks so much younger than in that other video.
You need to do your homework. This is
Dude, he doesn't want to do his homework. This is so easy. 32 plus 8, that's 40. 24 plus 6, that's 30. 10 plus 5, that's 17. Bro, you're so stupid. Just do the homework.
I will break that camera.
Bro, this kid is 6 years old, telling his mom he's gonna break her camera. What the hell?
I just want to go to bed. Everyone else gets to go to bed.
Since when?
This dude is crying over math. Bro, imagine your mom sends this to your teacher and she plays it tomorrow at school. You know how awkward that would be if he showed up to school looking all nice for all the girls. He walked in, he's like, what's up, y'all? I didn't do my homework. And all the girls are like,
dang, he didn't do his homework. He's so savage. He doesn't give a crap.
and then the teacher's like, oh yeah, this is what your mom sent me. And she plays this video in front of the whole class. Everyone sees you crying and begging. You know how embarrassing that would be, bro? So it seems like this family has some anger issues, but what's gonna happen if we go all the way back to their first ever videos? Okay, so I decided to go to their first ever videos to see if they were always like a super rage-induced, crazy family, and it kind of seems normal. Their first ever video is Lucy and William doing a balloon popping contest. I think that's their 2 kids. William's that kid that's raging. There's a video that says William can't blow out his birthday candles. William and his cat eat cereal together. It's a super blurry video,
And William, they're eating their breakfast.
but it's super cute. William on a scooter, William at a carnival. William and his mom are swinging on a swing set together. It seems like this family was normal. It seemed like William the Rager was a normal kid until she posted this video. William throws the Thanksgiving turkey. So they were having Thanksgiving and William apparently grabbed the turkey and threw it. I don't know what the turkey did to him. After that video, they started posting more of these rage videos. The next video was William throws the Christmas tree in the woods. William shatters the car window. That was when William started to become crazy. I need to see this video. It literally says William's gonna throw the Thanksgiving turkey. Everybody in their family is there on Thanksgiving. No way. No way. Okay, so they're having Thanksgiving. That's William right there, the crazy mother. A wonderful time with my family during the meal. Okay, where did it go wrong? What made him want to throw a turkey? Until...
Bentley, as usual, the Thanksgiving meal was perfect. Thank you.
Sure, I'm glad you enjoyed it. But I'm gonna clean up, so can somebody hand me that turkey?
William, can you put your phone down and hand Aunt Lee the turkey? You know what? Give her the turkey. She worked really hard. No.
Bro, he's lazy.
Do it now!
I'll get you.
Bro, that was staged. After watching that video, I kind of thought that this channel was kind of fake. So I decided to watch another video, and I wanted to make sure that it wasn't fake. Okay, so this video says William ruins Bill's birthday, and I think Bill is William's dad. So William is about to ruin his dad's birthday.
Sit down, birthday boy.
What happened to the cake?
That's what I want to know. William says the
It was the worker that did that.
What worker, jerk? You bought a cake and with a piece took it out?
The cake is gonna melt. We better hurry up and figure that out later.
All right.
Because William went crazy.
Happy birthday to you.
Slow down.
So they're singing happy birthday to his dad. The cake is literally on fire.
Happy
birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Bill and Dad.
The house is about to burn down.
Then blow out your candles. Yay!
It's a tiny cake, it's destroyed, I get the rest.
Bill wants the cake because they got him a small cake and they destroyed it because they put all those freaking candles on it. So he's saying you guys can have one piece, but then I want the rest of it. That's fair enough. I mean, it's his birthday. He should be able to do what he wants, right?
Silly.
No, I'm telling
No.
you, this is my cake,
Bill,
and I'm.
stop.
What are you doing, jerk? Stop! Stop, you!
Man, you can't be mad at him. You knew he was gonna do that. Just look at him, bro. When cake is on the table, William is about to eat that cake. It's obvious.
Stop, jerk!
Get your dad a fork.
I'll get you a fork, all right?
Shut up, jerk! What the freak, jerk? Stop, jerk! You freaking dingbat! This is my freaking birthday!
That's me.
What the frick,
You
jerk?
like that?
What the frick? You freaking dingbat!
Why is she screaming so much? It's just a cake. Maybe she wanted a damn piece. I don't know. I mean, I don't know what she looks like, but if she's overweight, that's why she's screaming. She wants a damn piece. Why is this kid doing that though? Are they doing this for the views on YouTube? I mean, this was 6 years ago. Did people make fake videos on YouTube 6 years ago? That was in like 2015 or something.
Oh my God.
Of course he's eating it.
This is what I get, a birthday like this?
This is ridiculous.
What the frick?
Exactly, it's his freaking birthday, William! You fat! Can this family have anything nice? I have to see this video. It says, kid puts his parents' 3,000 TV in the pool because of Fortnite. No way. William raged at Fortnite, so he threw his parents' TV in the pool. No way. I have to see this.
Just
So
get
they're,
back. Oh my gosh, there's someone just entered my building.
so they're spying on him.
Someone just entered my building.
He's raging.
I need help. Come on.
Is he playing?
I'm all right.
Shut up. Get out.
You need help.
Get out.
You do need
Get out.
No.
Get out.
You do need
Get
help.
out, Mom.
I think you all need help. This is the weirdest family ever.
I'm eliminated.
Bro, it's Fortnite. I'm not gonna lie, I raged over Fortnite before. Like a long time ago, like I've thrown my controller at the wall, stuff like that, but screaming at my mom? Oh my God.
Let's go to.
Dude broke the TV. No way, bro.
What are you doing?
Why in the pool, bro?
Goodness gracious, jerk. What the frick?
Throwing stuff at your mom is crazy, bro. No way he's about to jump in. Don't jump in. He's about to jump in.
Freaking jerk!
Oh my goodness. I can't even think right now. Oh my God. What the heck?
I hope the TV shocks him. Electrocute!
This is making me shaky. What the world?
What the frick, jerk?
What the frick, jerk?
Bye bye, Mom. I'm going to Geek
No,
Squad.
I'll take you, William. No, you can't.
Goodness, jerk.
Look at how his dad reacts to this. Ready?
Goodness, jerk.
He said, goodness gracious, and he walks away. That's something that every dad would do. Like if I ran over my TV, my dad would be like, oh boy.
Get out of the car. Shut.
This dude's mom said, get out of the car. He said, shut up. Have you ever been like to one of your friend's house and like you guys are playing the game and his mom's like
Saying, hey, come down here and do the laundry.
he's like, shut the f up, mom. Like me, I would never really scream at my parents or like cuss them out. But like I had some friends where if their mom said like, come do the dishes, they would be like, shut the f up. Like start raging. And I was just like, that's what this kid reminds me of. Is this kid like in jail? He's got to be in jail now. I mean, this was 5 years ago. He was throwing TVs into pools over Fortnite. I bet he's like robbing grocery stores and stuff now.
How am I gonna play Xbox?
Now he realizes.
You know what?
He literally said, how am I gonna play Xbox? Oh God. So this video said William has a massive meltdown over eardrops. So apparently they're trying to give him eardrops. Maybe he has like a bunch of earwax and he's gonna rage?
Oh no.
Andy,
No.
me.
No, jerk.
I'm just walking away.
No.
I'm walking away.
No, jerk.
No.
Sit down. Sit down, jerk. Stop. Come here.
This dude is running around the truck hiding from them because he doesn't want eardrops. Now they're on top of him
Jerk.
on the couch.
Ow! You're pressing too hard. Get off!
Stop.
You see how he's just screaming? Like, I feel bad for this cat. Look at this cat right here. I feel bad for the cat. That cat lives in a house where people are just screaming bloody murder all the time. I feel so bad for that cat, bro. Why are you screaming? It's literally an eardrop. It's not like somebody's gonna like put some white stuff in your ears.
William, you need
Oh my God.
Come on, jerk.
Oh my God.
Take your eardrops.
Sit down.
Watch out. William, stop it. All right, stop. You gotta keep. You guys don't have to put this thing in there.
So he is screaming and crying because they're putting eardrops in his ear. But in that last video, didn't he just jump into a pool? Like, water gets in your ear when you're in a pool. I hate this kid. That eardrops video was the last video that they ever posted, but in the description of that video, it says that that was an unreleased video from 2017. So that was like 6 years ago when they recorded it. They haven't uploaded a real video in 4 years. Maybe they went to therapy and became a normal family again? They have 2 other channels though. So this channel that we've been watching is called Violet First. They have another channel that's Violet Second. And on that channel, they just post clips from when the kids were super young. Like, look, that's literally William. That's the rage god right there. And then they have another channel, but that channel is called Raging Gaming, and it's William's channel. It's his gaming channel. He has 4 videos, and then he never posted again. Cool, I guess. None of these channels have really posted for like 4 years, so I guess that's a good thing. I'm pretty sure they all just quit YouTube, so we won't have to deal with this crazy family again. I looked at some more really weird YouTubers in this video right there. So if you want to keep watching me watch some stupid and weird YouTubers, click that video or click right here to unsubscribe from my stupid channel. Peace. Okay, so before I show you this YouTuber's name, just look at how many subscribers they have. 32.2 million subscribers. That's a lot, right? Like that's a lot of people. They have 32 million subscribers. There's no way they're a bad YouTuber, right? There's no way they lie to their fans. There's no way they make clickbait videos, right? They do. I guess I'll show you what the channel name is. Their channel is Lucas and Marcus, and look at their profile picture. Doesn't that look a little like sus? There's nothing wrong with it, but like, it's kind of sus. Look at the content that they're making. We rushed our dog to the hospital. That looks so sad. Like, dang, you had to rush your dog to the hospital. When you actually watch the video, they don't even like take their dog to the hospital. You'll see what I mean. This video literally says, our house caught on fire, and the thumbnail is them outside of their house, and there's a house burning down. This one is one of my favorites. Look at this. It says, my brother got struck by lightning. I promise, like I swear, I haven't even seen this video, but I promise, I'm gonna click on this video and he's not gonna, there's no way he got struck by lightning. I'm gonna prove this, watch. So the title says, my brother got struck by lightning, and the thumbnail is literally his brother on the ground like, Dang, did he get struck right there?
Please stop. I don't want to be out here. What are you talking about? Yo, you hear the lightning, bro? Yo, don't be a wuss. Come on, look at the sky. You hear that?
That was fake.
Stop, please. Bro, look, it's already raining over there. Yo, I told you.
Are you serious? Let me see this.
It's coming.
Did I just see a special effect?
Bro, look, it's already raining over there.
This dude added a special effect. Look, that's a special, no way. So it is raining, like it's raining bad. I'm not even gonna lie, but where does your brother get struck by lightning? I really wanna see this. Like that sounds stupid, but like.
You in position? Yep, I'm ready. All right, let's go. Ready?
So apparently they're calling people and acting like he got struck by lightning. So it turns out they just acted like he got struck by lightning. They called a bunch of their friends and said, oh, look, he got struck by lightning. What do I do? Really, bro? So not every single video on this channel is clickbait. Like this one says, our little sister meets a baby for the first time, where their little sister just meets a baby. I mean, okay. But like, my crazy ex-girlfriend is dead. Our house is flooded. No, it's not. My twin brother was murdered. This video's from 2 months ago. The next video, his twin brother's in the video. Why are you lying to your fan? Okay, this one makes no sense. Our little sister fell into a sewer. How do you fall into that little sewer? Did you see a freaking clown under there and you crawled in to try to talk to him? What the fuck? I have to see this. I have to see how his little sister fell into a small sewer. I promise they're lying. I watched 7 minutes of this video trying to find where his sister slips into a sewer, and then I think I found it right here. Okay, so let's see. He's at the sewer right now. Is his sister in there?
What? She's in there, she's in there. Come on. Oh, snap.
Okay,
right, come on.
So she's in that
Damn,
one.
you in there?
Yeah.
She's in here, Mark. Tell you. What were you doing? Yeah. I can't, I need help. Okay, hold on. Hold on. Help me, Marcus, help me. 3, 2, 1. Get her out, get her out.
What the hell is she doing in there? So your little sister didn't fall into that sewer. She just got into a sewer and then you started recording and said, oh my God, how'd you get in there? We're not stupid. Okay, if we go to their most popular videos, these videos have to be real, right? There's no way they fake super popular videos. Let's see. Okay, so this video has 37 million views. They're doing a prank on their parents where they're about to get arrested.
Officer, are you ready? Hey, I'm ready, guys. Make sure they don't see you. Okay, they're pulling in now, guys. They're pulling in now.
So they're calling up the cop and saying, hey, come to our house and act like we're getting arrested. And then they're gonna see how their parents react. This is a prank, apparently. Let's see if this prank's fake. So there's his mom and dad. The cop's pulling up.
Is the police?
Hey guys, what's going on?
Maybe I was speeding in the way here.
How you doing, sir?
Oh, snap.
For Marcus and Lucas Dobre? No, we didn't do anything.
What's going on?
go.
Wait, officer,
Ma'am,
wait.
stand back for me.
This cop is like arresting her sons and she's like, what's going on? No. Any other person would be like, what the hell? But she's like, what's going on? Like, what the she has to be in on this.
Please forgive them, please. They are just...
Stay, whoa, guys, stay there. Stay.
Stay,
Spray.
No, please don't harm them.
What the fuck? So she just said, can you please forgive them? They're really good boys. It's like, bro, if you got in trouble and the cop was arresting you and your mom was like, please forgive him. That cop don't care. And then they started walking away and the cop started shooting at him with a freaking water gun.
Please don't do that. Please don't take them. No.
More than polite by letting you know I was going to give you guys a call tonight. Super easy because it involves your children. I understand that. Just finish my paperwork.
So the cop leaves, he goes around the block, comes back to talk to the parent, and the two kids are still in the police car, right? Watch this.
What are they doing?
They're stealing my police car. That's your kid.
My
Stealing
kids
my
are
car.
Get out of there.
I'm taking your car. Get out of the car. Get out of the car.
God. Stop that.
Man, stay here.
They literally stole the police car. Who would believe that? It's obvious that their videos are horrible, but guess what? They have even worse videos when you go to their YouTube shorts. Oh my God, these are bad. So this YouTube short has 857 million views. This has to be good, right? No. So, what the? There's someone sleeping on an air mattress. Two people sleeping on an air mattress in a pool. Apparently they're asleep. How the hell did they get out there? He slashes it, and I guess it's gonna sink or whatever.
Good morning.
They just fell in, like on purpose. Okay, that was one fake video, right? Okay. Guess what? They did it again to their mom. Why does everybody sleep on the freaking air mattress in the pool? Are you guys weird? How does she not feel that, bro? Are you that did she die? She might be dead. If she doesn't hear the, like, look. Bro, he just popped it like 6 times. How do you not hear that? How are you, dude, check if she's dead. Do you hear that? Do you hear this? Is she dead? She might be dead. Do you not feel the water on your feet? Okay, they did that freaking air mattress stuff twice, right? Like, okay, it's fine. They did it again. How many air mattresses do you have? Why do people keep sleeping in the pool? I don't know how these people have 32 million subscribers. Maybe it's because these freaking pool videos have 800 million views. But like, what? You know how they were messing with people who were sleeping in a pool? They made a video that says mom wakes up in the ocean prank. What? No way they're doing this mattress stuff in the ocean.
No, we gotta go again. Ready? 3, 2, 1.
Why are they flossing?
Why are we doing this right now to our mom? This is the best prank ever.
Okay, so apparently their mom is sleeping in the hotel. Don't tell me they're about to take the mattress throughout the hotel, walk it to the beach, and put it in the ocean. There's no way. If that's what happens in this video, this is the stupidest YouTube video I've ever watched. I'm gonna say that right now. No way she doesn't wake up. I would wake up right here. I would wake up. If somebody picked up my bed, if somebody picked up your bed, you would wake up. She's moving around. Bro, you're literally awake. How did they get it through the hall? Do you see that door frame? Is she deaf and blind? Bro, they're taking her through the hallway. Do you hear this? No way they're about to put her in an elevator. If I was in an elevator and somebody came in with their mom on a mattress, I'd be like, is she dead? What the, look at these people. They're like, what the hell? Do you realize how they're not recording her anymore? At the start of the video, they were recording her face, but now that she's outside, she's probably smiling. Look, does she not hear that big ass truck? No, oh my God.
No way.
Wait, not yet.
Do you not hear the waves? This is the dumbest video I've ever. How do you not hear that? This is so fake. Did somebody give her drugs? Oh my God, where am I? You're in the ocean, dumbass. They literally took the bed out of the hotel and put it in the water. They would have to pay for that, right? Well, no. Look at this. So when the video starts, they're in a hotel room. She's sleeping on an air mattress. What hotel have you ever been to that has air mattresses? They have normal beds at hotels. They don't have air mattresses. So they brought their own air mattress just to make this fake video. Comments are turned off because they know the comments are gonna be like, this is so fake. They made more videos like this. Dad wakes up in a river prank. Sister wakes up in swimming pool prank. No, I'm done. I might come back for a part 2 and watch those sleeping pranks. This is so bad. If you want to see some more stupid YouTubers, click that video right there. I looked at some stupid YouTubers. You can keep watching me watch some stupid YouTubers, so click that stupid YouTuber. I said that like 10 times. Click right here to unsubscribe from my stupid channel. Peace.